Okay, everyone. So, as you know, we are currently in the midst of everything that has been happening after the Colleen Ballinger and Raven Simone podcast. Now, in years past, I have kind of reacted to and engaged and touched on the entire conversation, and thankfully people are picking up on it this time, but I have made a decision to pull myself back from a lot of discussions and to be uninvolved. I made my first video and I basically touched on Trisha talking about it, and that was all I wanted to do. However, there is one creator that I've seen who has covered this that I really love this creator. And it is Einabber Fraser. I really like Fraser, and I really love Fraser's content. And I've seen that Fraser has made a video. I think he's actually made 2 videos on the podcast, and I always love his take. I was going to react to this anyways, just myself watching it, and I know that we go live, and I might post this on YouTube after. Hi, YouTube, if I do, hey. I was going to watch this either way, that I was like, we may as well do it together, may as well hang out, talk about it. And again, I really like Einabber's content, so I'm intrigued to hear his take with this. He's also in Japan right now. Fraser, if you see this, I hope you have fun in Japan. He missed some stuff though. Well, I'll watch it and I'll see. So anyways, let's get into it. Also, I nominate y'all. We are getting so close to 500k subscribers, so I nominate you and everyone you've ever met to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are getting so close to 500k subscribers. It is now a challenge. Adam to 500k subscribers challenge. I nominate you and everyone you've ever met to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you see that button and it's not hit, please hit it because you're nominated to the so stupid, the Adam to 500k subscribers challenge. Again, I nominate you. So stupid. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider, because we're getting really close to 500k and I'm planning something really exciting for it. And also, my Patreon is still 30% off right now using code YouTubeMucker. You get access to me reacting to the Ruby Frankie documentary, me reacting to Trisha's Broadway show, Escape the Night Season 1, 2, and 3, and we're currently doing 4, and also Beast Games Season 1. But anyways, let's get into Fraser's video. Colleen Ballinger just made the worst apology of all time.
Hello, I'm in a different setting to usual. I don't usually just react to something on my main channel. I like to have scripts. I like to just look into everything before I actually give my opinion and talk about things. But I've just had something come up on my timeline that genuinely just made me want to jump onto my computer.
I love Kenji so much. I feel like such a fangirl with Einabber. I don't watch that many people's content, honestly. And I certainly don't like watching people's content that makes similar videos that I make, because again, I really, oh, I'll turn it up, sorry. I struggle with the concept of making a video on a topic after watching someone else talk about it, because I'm so easily influenced that I've in the past, I remember watching a Peter Mon video, and then I made a video on something a couple days later and everyone was like, oh, you said exactly what Peter Mon said. And I was like, nuh-uh. And then I watched Peter's video back and I went, oh. But Einabber is someone that I still enjoy watching. Okay, tell me if the audio level is good if I play it like this.
And talk about it. Because Colleen Ballinger has returned. Not returned in a vlog, in a...
Is that better? Is that better? Perfect. All right, great.
A regular YouTube video. She is actually doing a sit-down interview about everything. Now, if you were around in 2023, you would remember, I think everyone remembers, come on, let's be real, we all remember the ukulele video, we remember the serious nature of the stuff that Colleen Ballinger was accused of, and of course, this all involved Adam McIntyre, who was a fellow commentary channel, and the other day, well, yesterday, I saw he uploaded this video titled Colleen Ballinger, and basically, it was him reacting to a trailer clip of Colleen on this podcast, and it didn't look good. It looked like things were going to be spun in a very negative way, and this is now fully out there. We have a full hour podcast, and basically
also, it was a quick as fuck turnaround. From that trailer to posting, God, it was 12 hours. They were rushing that shit out quick.
What I want to do is sit down, take a look, work out, is Colleen going to take accountability? Is she going to accept that she was ultimately in the wrong? Not just ultimately, but just outright completely in the wrong. If you need to remind yourself of what happened in 2023, I highly recommend going to watch some videos from that era just before you watch this, because there were a lot of serious allegations. And obviously the main one being Colleen sent her underwear to an underage Adam McIntyre. This is something that...
You know what I was thinking about? I was talking to my friend about this as well. When I first made that video, that was not the thing that I thought that people would focus on the most, honestly, or even in 2023. And maybe that's just my warped perception of it, but I didn't think that that was going to be the thing that people honed in on the most. I thought it was going to be people focusing on the unpaid work, or the fact that I was Miranda at a certain stage, or the inappropriate conversations about her sex life and Josh's dick and Eric in bed and stuff like this. I honestly thought that was going to be focused on more than the lingerie. But it's interesting, every time someone brings up Colleen to me, it's always the lingerie thing. But I guess it makes sense, because it is so weird. But still, to me, it is still crazy to me that that is where people. And again, I'm not taking away from anyone, that it makes complete sense. But it is always crazy to me. Even in the moment, I said it very passingly in the video, because it's still on her YouTube channel, and I remember now. I remember when she ditched you in Dublin. I completely forgot about that until this moment. God, so many things just flood to and from. It is crazy. I didn't think that was going to be the quote unquote thing people focused on the most. The lingerie pales in comparison. Honestly, she was so heinous. I guess the statement is maybe because the clips are still up. Yeah, it's confusing to me. I still can't wrap my head around it, but I guess it kind of makes sense that it's the thing that people focus on the most. But
that happened, it's confirmed, but there was also a lot of other inappropriate behavior happening in group chats, where Colleen would speak to her young fans in group chats about very inappropriate things, and overall, yes, it led to Colleen being cancelled, or how I like to know it as, being held accountable.
Good thing she likes her friends cancelled. It's so unfortunate. I'm really trying my best to get into the Life of a Showgirl album, and it's working. I'm liking the beat. I'm liking the beat of some songs, but God, when I hear I just honestly can't not think of her crying over that song.
For her actions, and now this pretty much is the first time she has sat down in length. There's been things here and there. She's referenced cancellations and stuff like that. There was a recent video that went viral of her crying to a Taylor Swift song, but this is the first time I think I've actually seen her sit down and talk about things. So I'm going to give her, well, I'm not going to give her a chance. I know what this is going to be. I'll say that if she genuinely, admits to her faults, it's not my place to forgive. It's not my place to say even if she can earn forgiveness, but I will listen.
Also would like to update everyone. In yesterday's video, I said how I was in the process of rewatching That's So Raven and Hannah Montana simultaneously. I just want to let you guys know that I'm still moving forward with my That's So Raven watch party. I am just disassociating the fact that Raven Simone did this, and to me, That's So Raven, my viewing will continue, because that show is good as fuck. And you know what, Raven Simone, I will not take that away from you. I will not hold a grudge. Can you imagine how fucking stupid my fucking life is? I'm literally rewatching That's So Raven for the first time since childhood, and literally a couple episodes in, Raven Simone fucking platforms Colleen. I'm like, oh God.
We'll listen, and we will all listen, and that's what we're going to do now. Now, this is going to be very unscripted. It's going to be a very and
again, you know that I like Fraser, because again, I was only planning on watching her interview once, but again, I really, really, really like his takes. So, Fraser, you get my one time I'm willing to rewatch this again.
Professional to my usual videos, but I just wanted to sit down and watch this. I usually put this on the second channel, but I thought, why not do that on the main channel? So here we are. Let's get into it.
Today, we're sitting down with Colleen Ballinger, actress, comedian, and YouTuber best known for...
I mean, that's definitely a stretch. Comedian, I don't know about that.
...her character, Miranda Sings.
If you were anywhere online in 2023, you probably saw Colleen's name trending.
I completely forgot they did this serious ass intro. It's so stupid. If you were online anywhere 2023, you probably seen the no expression faces. Why does no one have any expression in their faces anymore? If you were online, you probably knew what happened in 2023. Like, how do these people manage to not have any expression? They will move their head. They might change the tone of their voice, but the face will never move. It's crazy. It's the Botox. Give it a year, and I'll be like this. Hi, Uckers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. It's good to see you again. How are we feeling? I'm so angry at the new. Goodness me. Very, very, very stupid. I saw someone added Steph. I don't know if Steph's watching. If you are, Steph, I love you. I love you, Steph.
It's because she was accused of crossing personal boundaries with fans, some of whom were minors, and the response was intense.
She posted a response video that made the whole situation blow up even more.
She did?
And what followed was one of the biggest public cancellations we've seen in a while.
Now, I know,
Also, do they have to be wearing these fuck-ass sunglasses? Do they really have to be wearing these fuck-ass sunglasses?
I think it is fair to refer to it as a cancellation, but as I said just now, I feel like it should
The
just
word
be
cancellation means fuck all, by the way.
referred to as being held accountable for your actions. I feel like being cancelled is a very different thing. It's like when you make a dodgy tweet and somebody pulls up a tweet from like 5 years ago. You've got a political opinion that you no longer align with. People get really mad at that despite the tweet being 6 years old. That's like a cancellation. To me, with what happened with Colleen, she sent her underwear to a fan. You know, that's an actual serious thing there. That's not, oh, this person wrote a really nasty tweet. No, this is serious stuff. So I just feel a little bit uncomfortable when we kind of like,
oh my God, the
mix this
fuck-ass
into internet tea
sunglasses.
and drama. Like, I have seen Adam McIntyre speak about these things. The stuff that happened with him and Colleen has clearly impacted him. Like,
Also, Becky. With what she put Becky through. Re-traumatizing Becky. With what Colleen's fucking predatory brother did to Oliver. Why is no one talking about Oliver? Oh my God, like, if anything, you know, continuing to harp on with these videos, you know, all I really want people to do is focus on the fact that, like, this is so much bigger than what, you know, everyone is portraying. Also, Trisha as well. You know, like, Trisha really deserves to be treated with such respect when it comes to this, rather as someone who's just talking about the topic. Because Trisha, again, I said this yesterday, I would argue that what Colleen did to Trisha was 10 times worse than what she did to me. Sending her nudes around, doing viewing parties, making fun of Trisha's naked body, fake befriending Trisha, going into Trisha's home, meeting her family, starting a podcast with her, lying about liking her, all these different things. Like, I'm not saying, again, it's not a competition, but I'm just, like, trying to make the argument here that, like, I also do believe that, like, what she did to Trisha was 10 times worse than what she did to me overall. I guess everything's subjective. It's not a competition. But I just think that people, you know, also focus on Trisha and focus on Colleen's predatory brother, Trent, who was never held accountable for being inappropriate and creepy and weaponizing Colleen's fame to be inappropriate with Oliver, who was underage, and Becky, who was pulled up on stage and almost got exposed to the crowd and re-traumatized and felt so unsafe by their idol. This is, you know...
Like, I watched a 20-minute video about this yesterday, and even with just 1 minute of a clip about this, it was very upsetting for him to watch. And I can understand why, because Colleen loves to spin the narrative in this situation, which you're going to see.
This is actually the first time that we're meeting
Do they both have to be wearing these fuck-ass sunglasses? Like, I get it. Filming in front of a fucking ring light can be fucking... I get it. It's bright as fuck. I have sensitive eyes, but Jesus Christ. If I came up here in this bitch wearing sunglasses, you people would be like, dickhead, take them off. And you would be fair.
Colleen, and we've decided to do it now because we feel like enough time has passed for reflection and learning and for a real conversation.
I mean, I feel like she should have had this real conversation 2 years ago. This is like the Ned Former thing. Of course, they're different situations, but when he uploaded that podcast of Ariel, the first thought in my mind was, why did you not do this 2 years ago? Why did you run away and now...
And also, if you're going to wait that amount of time, it better be good. Like what we're all saying is, you cannot argue that Colleen didn't start this again. Just want to clarify as well. Trisha moved on with Just Trish, hasn't talked about Colleen in ages. Within the last month, I've uploaded over 65 videos that were not about Colleen Ballinger. Becky is not posting about Colleen. Oliver is not posting about Colleen. It's almost like she's fucking rage baiting us. It's like she just has, it's like she will continue bringing this up. She will continue saying that we're all liars and we're all the worst people in the world and we ruined her life until the public believe it. It's like clockwork. She loves attention. Yeah, it honestly is like, I just want people to continue to, like, We were good. We weren't talking about her. We were good. She did this.
Now you've come back when there's less heat, and now you're hoping we're going to accept it. To me, it seems very deliberate. To run away, let everything die down, let all the other YouTube drama take over, all the other YouTube situations, all the cancellations, all the very serious situations, just go over everything that
The parallels between her and Ned Fulmer just like, they do give me a little giggle, I'll be honest. I want them to date. I want Ned Fulmer and Colleen Ballinger endgame. Literally endgame.
And, we all forget about it and move on with our lives. Then you come back and then you hope maybe now, maybe they'll forgive me. But I'm not that guy. I'm not going to say that I forgive her. And I will listen. As I said, I will listen. But I think it is convenient. It took 2 years for this.
Station behind the headlines.
It's easy to form opinions based on what we see online, but harder to sit down face to face and ask questions about what's really happened, what someone's taken from it, and how they're moving forward.
Our goal isn't to revisit every detail, but to understand the human side of the story that
What's the human side? Like, I don't know if these guys are going to be combative against her. I don't know if they're going to be addressing everything. Like, I know they just said that, but I don't know if they're going to be basically not coming after Colleen, but being critical of her actions. The first minute,
Adam, would you ever go on the Raven Simone podcast? The problem is I feel like there's some reason that Colleen did this podcast. Not Nadine. Y'all, I have no proof about this. I do not know at all. But like, I just feel like there has to be some reason that they wanted Colleen on and Colleen did it. Is she friends with Raven? Is she friends with Miranda? Do they have a similar management team? Do they have mutual friends? Like, so why would I go on that? JoJo has her hands in this. See, but then I'm like, does JoJo Siwa give a fuck? Like, does JoJo Siwa really care enough? Like, I know JoJo has been on this press tour of, like, Adam's a liar and it's all lies and stuff, but, like, does JoJo care? I don't know.
I don't know if I get the vibe that that's going to go down that route. I feel like if we're going to have this conversation, we do actually need to go through every single detail, because there are a lot of details. There's a lot of serious stuff that took place over the years between Colleen Ballinger and her fans.
Came very public.
So today, Colleen is here to share her perspective in her own words, to share what she's learned, what she regrets, and what she hopes all of us take away from it now.
And we're here to listen.
Here's our conversation with Colleen Ballinger.
God, they just have no emotion, don't they? Here's what we learned with our conversation with Colleen Ballinger. What she reflects on, what she takes attention with, and what we're going to do moving forward. We hope you enjoy this conversation. It was very emotional. It's crazy.
All right, let's get into it.
Now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children.
I love that they did this little like teaser reel with emotional music.
I went into my interactions with my fans with that same mindset of like, everything I say can affect them, and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
I mean, first off, straight away, I'm feeling like I'm being a little bit manipulated here. It's giving Ned Fulmer once again of the thing of like, when they do something terrible, and
it's not good when you get constant fucking brought back to
I
Ned
understand
Fulmer.
that you learn from your mistakes in life, but I feel like Colleen was a grown woman when she was going into these group chats, when she was sending things to Adam McIntyre, when she was having inappropriate conversations. I don't think you need to get into a position of where you're inappropriately messaging your young fans to realize that that's a bad thing. I don't think that you need the entire internet to be hounding you for you to realize messaging minors is a bad thing as a grown woman, especially in any case it's bad, but Colleen Ballinger is a massive content creator with millions of fans. Well, at least she used to have millions of fans, but you know what I'm saying here. It's even worse in that extent because there's even...
Is Colleen still friends with Corey? I think Corey works at like a gay bar in Boston. He left her ass. He works at... Suha, are you still here? Can you fact check me on that? Yeah, Corey left, and you know what? He needed it. Oh my God, he was like a 30-something-year-old man, like just living in a house with a family. I don't know if it's Boston. But anyways, Corey and her, they seemingly no longer hang out, and he is like manager or like high up in like a gay bar somewhere. He also does like, he does have me blocked on Instagram. So let me see if I can get around that. You would think, oh wait, I do have so many Instagram accounts. I can go on the podcast account. Shout out to the Adam and Eve podcast. Goodness. Where is he? Provincetown, Massachusetts, I think. What is this? Oh god. The attentions. The attention seeking never ends. Oh my god, look, it's the new Colleen. Oh my god, he would actually sing these. Suha, are you here? Oh my god, Mom, you'll know this as well. Oh my god, this is crazy. Him and Colleen would sing this song on tour. Wait, I'm a little bit gagged. He would sing these songs with Colleen on tour. Oh my god, he replaced her ass.
I give it back to the birds and the bees and the bees.
Goodness. Is that Jonathan? Oh my god, Jonathan! Jonathan was the one in the videos watching Trisha's porn with Colleen making fun of her. The Johnny posted. Jesus Christ. Oh.
More of a power dynamic there. But either way, I don't think that you need to have this traumatizing event of the internet coming after you to realize that messaging minors is a bad thing.
Just hitting and hollering.
I already feel a little bit, manipulated here. I get that she's going to be like, I've learned and I've changed. And maybe she has, maybe she has learned from this stuff. But I feel like this excuse is the same thing Ned Former used of,
the comments are killing
empathy.
me.
I'm now practicing gratitude. And it's like...
Sorry, that's like one of the harshest things someone could ever say. I would love to have the confidence these people have. If someone says, I love your confidence, it's not good. I love your confidence.
Why did it take you cheating on your wife to come to the conclusion that empathy is something that you should practice?
Next guest tonight is one of the most popular YouTubers in the world.
Her
videos have garnered more than 1 billion views online.
You all know her as Miranda Sings.
Please welcome Colleen Ballinger.
It is crazy how massive she was in the world. I'm sorry to keep on. If you're gonna get mad at me for cutting you through, this is why I'm here. I'm here to give commentary, but it is crazy how massive she was. She's on. This guy's show. I know who this guy is. I just don't know his name. Is this Stephen Colbert? I think maybe.
Billion subscribers, nearing 2 billion views. Now a Netflix show.
You're famous. You're famous.
I also just don't get it because she's not funny. I don't want to be rude, but I've never understood the Miranda Sings thing. It's just weird.
We're both famous.
Colleen has written a best-selling self-help book.
Again, also, I don't get it. I just don't get who buys children. We know it's children because she was messaging the children, but either way, I digress.
Is touring around the world and has appeared with the likes of Jimmy Fallon and Jerry Seinfeld.
YouTube star Colleen Ballinger, who's better known as her online persona Miranda Sings, is facing significant backlash. She's been accused of having...
Yeah, let's get through this. Let's just get to the actual starting because I don't want to get copyrighted.
Podcast, we have somebody who you definitely know. Because if you know YouTube,
you know her.
You know
I do.
her. You have to
I know her. I know her.
Colleen Ballinger.
That is it. That is my name.
You said it
You
right.
did.
But then I'm like, if they're friends, why does she not know how to pronounce her second name? Oh my god. I wonder how her book got through publishing. Money.
Get so nervous about butchering people's names.
It's literally the most easy. I can't pronounce things, but it's the most easy name to pronounce. Why are we doing this?
Even though I know your name is
Because
Colleen
everybody
Ballinger,
butchers
and I've
hers.
said it so many times.
It wouldn't bother me if you did. Most people don't say it right. My whole life it was Colleen Ballinger.
Ballinger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people say
I'm
usually.
Mayday, and so people are
I've
always
never
like,
heard anyone call her Colleen Ballinger. Sorry, can we just get past this? I'm going to go on 2 times speed. This is something that I'm going to do when they kind of speak nonsense, and I just want to get to the main stuff. So, skip forward if you want to get to that.
Mayday, because it's not with a middle Y.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah, my name's Brady. People call me Janet. It's so weird. I don't understand.
Okay,
I
I
really
appreciate
you.
you here.
No, you're good. Thanks for having me.
Well, there is a very big elephant in the room. Yeah, and I think that we just have to address it
Immediately.
All right, let's go back onto the 1 time speed.
Why Miranda?
Oh, God. I've got another person in the room. Stop. Just get into the actual topic.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm I'm sorry. I was thinking about that. I was like, how do we address this right there?
It's pretty massive.
Yeah, it is.
I think it is pretty weird to just jump onto this whole like podcast setting and the immediate thing is to be really comedic and laughy. Like, let's be real here. Like,
Fraser, baby. They're laughy throughout the entire fucking thing. Like, it's...
Like, let's be really, really real here. I feel a bit cringy saying it because I feel like the worst people on the internet use this argument, but it is a valid argument, but I always see it used in very disingenuous and dishonest ways to kind of, you basically, what I'm going to say is, imagine if what Colleen did, right? And imagine it was a man to a younger girl. Imagine. I don't think that they would be getting treated in the same way. Now, by the way, I'm not being like one of those like anti-woke YouTubers who it's like feminism bad. I'm not doing that, but I am saying I feel like...
I agree with him. I always try to line with that argument because it can be misinterpreted, though.
When it's a woman coming after a younger boy, it doesn't get treated with the serious nature that it, should. And I feel like if this was a man and then the story of a younger girl, say Adam McIntyre was a younger girl, and he sent his underwear to a younger girl, regardless if you think that was for comedy or not, I feel like we would be handling this in a very different way. I don't think we would be jumping into this podcast straight away.
I agree. And again, I've never made the point or whatever because I know that like other people can make the point, but if I was to make it, I know that it would be blown up. So I just choose not to.
With a comedic element, I think it would be serious from the very beginning. Just go look at Adam McIntyre's videos. He is visibly upset in them watching this stuff, understandably so, because these people are having a comedic chill sit down with Colleen. I thought this was going to be but from the beginning, for the intro they gave, I thought this was going to be some serious...
So did I from the fucking teaser they did. The fucking emotional ass music.
We're sitting down, we're getting down to the business, but it's not. Let's start off with some comedy.
I'm sorry. I mean, luckily for you, she's been gone for a while, so you don't have anyone to compete with that name. But, yeah, I mean, do you actually want to answer that question?
Yes, I do.
Why Miranda? Why did I name her? Why did she exist?
Why did you name her? We'll get into
name her and then that? I was in college doing a play, like a one-act thing, some student-run thing, and I was cast as...
Yeah, I don't care. Let's just skip through this.
Yes, 38.
We're the same age.
You're 38? I'm 38. You look a lot...
This is what I'm saying. I forgot that Colleen Ballinger is 38. So when these things were all happening between her, Adam McIntyre, and her fans, she would have been approaching 30 years old. Like, she would be getting there. So when I hear the argument she's going to get into later of, she is really only now learned because she's...
My favorite thing to say, and I always said this to like really annoy Colleen, was when she was coming for me, I remember saying in like our like little fan group chats, I was like, wow, she's coming at me and I'm closer in age to her son than her. And her son was like just born. It was like the ultimate rage bait. It was like so easy to rage bait her with that. I'd be like, wow, look at how much she's bullying me and I'm closer in age to her son than her. Oh, she never took that one well. It was so easy to rage bait her with that one.
Become a parent about like
it's true. It's true.
I think that's such bollocks. Any grown adult.
Bollocks. Oh my god, it's been so long since I've watched like a UK creator. Bollocks. Oh my god, I've only heard my dad say that.
Knows that you should have boundaries with children.
Younger than that.
What? Thank you.
You look like what did you say before we started? A young British boy.
Yes, I'm a young British
boy. The loving words I heard them speak to each other before we started filming.
Let's talk about it though, because you come from a big family, and I'm sure that when you have that many siblings, like you're just able to say whatever and blurt it out, and it's like joking and moving around. And one thing that I learned when I was on The View is that there's a difference between live in front of the audience and what's happening at home. And it took me a while to kind of learn that conversation. So to slowly just kind of talk about it, do you feel like you're at home when you're in front of the camera and you feel like that, or have you?
Totally.
Why are we talking about this? Like, why are we going through this right now? This isn't the topic of conversation to why anyone's here. Let's be real, people.
There's also something so bonkers to me about the concept of feeling at home in front of a camera. I think that's called narcissism. Because you don't feel at home because you're talking to a camera. In that instance, just talk to yourself. You feel at home because you're talking to a camera ultimately to post online for attention.
People. We're not sat down to listen to Raven and Miranda speak with Colleen Ballinger. We're here to hear Colleen Ballinger defend herself, apologize, because what's this video titled? It's called Colleen Ballinger's Actual Apology Video.
Before it was changed to Colleen Ballinger tells her side of the story.
That's why I'm here. I'm not here to learn about the life and, whatever of Colleen Ballinger. Just give me the details.
That was the whole thing, right? I mean, when I started doing YouTube, it was like kind of when YouTube started.
Yeah.
So the whole appeal of it, I feel like back then was that these people who were getting famous online, they weren't celebrities. They were real people. We were in our home. Like that was the appeal of it, is that we were your friend. You're, someone who's just, I'm talking to you from my living room, from my kitchen, talking about my day. So yeah, definitely it's really hard to separate the two between like what's private home life and then what's part of the public persona. To me, it was always one and the same. So, and that was, that was a hard thing for me to figure out the lines and boundaries of that, because I thought that was the whole appeal of like what back then, when I started doing YouTube, is that I wasn't.
Wow, this is such pointless information. Let's skip forward again. I don't know why we're not getting into the conversation straight away.
become a YouTuber because that wasn't a thing. There weren't influencers. It was just
still not in the conversation.
No, I don't like how you
Oh my
pronounce.
God, Fraser doesn't give a fuck.
This word, and so I mess up how I pronounce words more moving forward. I tried to.
Okay,
I would do it more because I was like, who sits and just writes like you? These are strangers to me. I don't know these people. And again, this is when it was all new. Like this is brand new.
Sorry,
to me.
no,
Yeah, they thought it was so funny that people couldn't tell if she was real or not, and so people thought it was real, and
Meaning they thought
Miranda was a real person.
like, that was you.
Yeah, they thought
Okay.
it was. So for a while, that was it. Like people thought Miranda was a real person, and so
This is such a mess already. Like we're 10 minutes into this episode and nothing has been said in Colleen Ballinger's actual apology video.
whatever people said they didn't like in the comments.
Because again, the ultimate aim for this was to get her audience back. Like I don't think to get her audience back is to get an audience, because ultimately her biggest dream, trust, is to go on tour again and like have attention from fans and audience. And I feel that if she could snap her fingers and she had that child audience back again at the magnitude, I mean, she would. That's what she wants, which is why this starts with talking about her career and the upbringing and stuff like that, because that is the focus rather than anything else. I'm glad people saw it though, and I think I look back on my original video on this and I get a little bit embarrassed by it, and I'm talking about my video I posted when the trailer dropped where I was like really angry, and I'm a little bit embarrassed by that video. I don't think I should be embarrassed by it, but I'm a little bit embarrassed by it on the basis that like it's not that deep. Like she's not that, like she doesn't matter. Like she actually doesn't matter. Like if she continues to talk about this, I'm going to continue talking about her. But like there is no world in which she can affect me again. And I think I realized that once like the podcast was posted. I have no control over the public reaction. And the public were like, I'm not saying the public were on my side, which they were, I appreciate it. But like the public were like, why is she doing this? And I was like, oh, okay, like the internet for once, like what I deem has like the right opinion on this situation. And then I was like, oh, okay. She can't do what she used to do. So I'm like, okay, she's just a loser. Not a groomer, just a loser. So anyways, I mean, I'm glad I did that video, I guess, in a sense, because it was like my real opinion of it. And I know people are referencing it being like, he's getting re-traumatized by it and stuff like that. I just want to let everyone know that I'm good. I don't think about it that deep now. I think I was just a little bit stressed in that moment, and I was a little bit upset and just stressed out that it was going to blow up into an entire thing. And I mean, ultimately it did kind of blow up into a thing, but not the thing that I thought it was. I thought it was going to blow up into another, like, having to defend myself, having to whatever, and luckily it wasn't that. So
I would do it more because I was like, who sits and just writes like these are strangers to me. I don't know these people. And again, this is when it was all new. Like this is brand new.
Sorry,
to me,
no, it's still happening.
Oh yeah, but I'm a little aware. But
like, these comments are
It's a lot different now. It's much different now than it was.
So I guess what they're talking about here is the early era of cancellations and criticism on the internet of with her character Miranda Sings. People couldn't tell if it was her or a fake person, just a persona. At the end of the day, I don't really care about this. Miranda Sings is like probably...
You were taken off guard. I think ultimately that's what it was. I think I just wasn't expecting it. I mean, it was so fucking random. No one was talking about it. No one was talking about her. No one was talking about the situation. And then to know that she like comes out with this fucking like tell-all exclusive interview, like it was stressful, but like ultimately, like again, like I just realized that like it wasn't that deep. It wasn't that deep.
One of the most unfunny things I think that's ever, blessed the timeline of YouTube. I think honestly, like if you go back and watch a Miranda Sings video, if you're a former fan, you will look at the content and you may feel a little bit of shame thinking to yourself,
what is the last Miranda Sings video that was posted? How long ago was that? Miranda Sings. When was the channel? 2 years ago.
Today, I'm coming at you with a mood that is a little sour.
91,000 dislikes. Jesus. 5th of June. Oh, shit. This is when everything was going down. Was she actively posting Miranda content during everything going... She was. Oh, my God.
But anyway, you could literally sit in the freaking back. Don't have to run that race. Just...
Whoa, that's crazy. Addressing the controversy about me.
Dun, 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 dun. Next one. What?
Whoa, this is crazy. She was actively posting videos during everything happening.
What was going on? What was going on at that point in my life? Right. Well, I know what was going on. You were 10 years old, and Colleen Ballinger was probably messaging you. That's a joke, by the way.
When they started trickling in, it was like they'd say, "Oh, I don't like how you pronounced this word," and so I mess up how I pronounce words more moving forward. I tried to egg on the comments a little bit in the beginning because I thought it was funny that people thought it was a real character.
Yeah, but it sounds like you were doing it sounds like you were doing performance art and having the
performance
art is crazy.
Oh god, is it really performance art? We have seen some of the videos.
Is
of
it that
Colleen
deep?
Ballinger playing Miranda Sings. It was actually one of the things I criticized in my series about Colleen Ballinger. I found some of the old videos of where she was in the character of Miranda Sings with Jojo Siwa, and she was saying really inappropriate things to a very young Jojo Siwa on camera, and it was uploaded to her YouTube channel. I don't really know if I can call that art. To me, it's more just...
I also wonder why JoJo doesn't like look back on the relationship a little bit different. I think the reason for that is probably because JoJo, unfortunately, has probably been exploited by adults her entire life, which ultimately does make me not feel any way about JoJo. Like, I don't dislike JoJo just on the basis that, like, I feel that, like, JoJo has reasons for the way that she is. And I don't mean that in a shady way at all.
Puke. But yes, let's continue.
Audience inform you of where to go next, knowing that a little tinge of under the note is very appealing at times, right? And that's how you kind of gained your following, by just a little bit of irritation to where people could hate and could love at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I think the appeal in the beginning was that people couldn't tell if it was real or not. And then when people figured out that it wasn't real, they felt like they were in on a joke or something. They were in on it, and that was fun for them. And, you know, like I said in the beginning, it was an older audience for the first few years of my career, and I was doing a lot of, nightclubs and stuff like that.
How old do you think?
I just graduated college, so there were people my age, but it was the gay theater community. It was like a lot of like older gay men that would like come to my shows, and
this is an era I didn't know about, the gay community embracing Colleen Ballinger.
Also, I love on Just Trish yesterday, whenever Trisha was like, we have a quote from Oscar, and it was Oscar being like, us gays didn't want her. Us gays were not eating that up or something like that.
And her having an older audience.
It also is crazy to me that me and Oscar are not the same age. I feel like me and Oscar like look the same age. And that's like a compliment to like him, I guess, because he's like 10 years older than me. Like, damn, I feel like I look older than Oscar.
I feel like if it maybe stayed like that, maybe the timeline would be completely different. But it didn't stay like that. So why are
we weren't gagging
like
that?
So,
yeah.
You know, my comedy was it was crass and over the top and whatever, but they liked that they were in on
crass and over the top is definitely a way to describe some of the things that she was saying to Jojo Siwa when she was 13 years old.
This joke. And Miranda was a lot more subtle at the beginning too. You know, over time it became this like really dramatic, more cartoony, like intense character, but like in the beginning it was much more subtle. And over time, as people commented what they didn't like, I would do things more. So in the beginning, people I think were drawn to the fact of, is this an actor or not? And then once they figured that out, and then the audience kind of grew and changed over the years.
Why are we talking about this?
Because she wants to do Miranda again. She wants to do Miranda again really bad. That's why she is talking about this.
I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to try and find an actual relevant piece of information to talk about here. Because I'm not going to lie to you. Again, I don't care about the origin form of Colleen Ballinger's character Miranda Sings. Like, it's not an art piece. It's just unfunny stuff that happened on YouTube 20 years ago. I don't need to know about it. I'm here for your apology. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is where the conversation, I believe, starts. I clicked forward, and this is where they start to get into it, around 15 minutes in. So at this point, I imagine Colleen is a little bit more comfortable. Maybe you can use that as the reason to why they got into, like, you know, her background, her story, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of laughter. Maybe to loosen her up and then get into the actual conversation.
You would think! But Jesus, it was the worst fucking shit from here on. Like, the concept of, like, making her comfortable and then what we know happens next. Goodness, I think they should have made her uncomfortable.
If that's true, then maybe I can understand it.
You had the rug pulled out from underneath you.
Rug pulled out from underneath you. Fuck off.
Some of the comments people have made and how certain situations have made watchers and viewers feel. But I first want to ask you, when you first got that ting about, oh no, something is going astray, what happened personally?
Okay, let's go off 2 times here. Let's actually fully listen to this.
Internally to you.
You know, it was kind of a slow build. And I feel like I felt it brewing for a little bit first, you know.
Because she lived on her phone in these fucking group chats.
Experience. And first, I think I should say, you know, when my audience kind of grew and it went from this older audience to, you know, it spread and there was now a lot more teens watching me. I didn't adjust my comedy very much because I was like, well, they found me doing this.
But didn't she just say that over time her comedy changed? I'm pretty sure we just heard her in her introduction.
Fraser, baby, there are so many times when she will contradict herself. Just lock in.
And state that when she was doing, you know, content for adults, it was a lot more, I guess, on the nose. It was a lot less what it became. So
But also, she openly said that she kept the same comedy style so that the adults bringing the children would have sexual innuendos to enjoy.
feel like she's already lying here. We just 10 minutes ago heard her explain that when she used to make content right at the beginning, it was for an older audience and it was a lot less exaggerated and it was just, more for adults. And then it changed as time went on, which is effectively changing as the younger audience come in. So what you're saying here, based on your own words in this exact same conversation, is not true.
This is what they like and this is what I like. So I'm going to keep doing the comedy they like. And I did adjust it a little bit over time.
I don't get it. Did you adjust it or didn't you adjust
it?
Because you've said 3 different things now. At the beginning, you said you had completely. Then you said you hadn't. And now you said you slightly have.
This is what happens when you have a bullshit influencer just letting you fucking yap. I guess ultimately it worked. It worked against her.
What's the story here? It's not a good start, to be honest with you.
One thing that I didn't do, and I should have been much more careful about, is I didn't adjust my interactions.
Y'all remember her fall vlog was posted 2 years ago yesterday? Peyton, that is Peyton, right? Yeah. Peyton, you know why I know that Colleen's fall vlog, which was like her comeback after Toxic Gossip Train, you know how I know that was 2 years ago? Because yesterday, 2 years ago, was whenever I met, after she posted fall vlog, I did a response to it and I was so upset. And I took myself out to the bar after and I ended up meeting a guy that night and then we ended up dating for a couple weeks. That's how I remember that fall vlog was 2 years ago. I got a Snapchat notification screenshot of me and him together and I went, oh, that means that fall vlogs 2 years ago.
With my fans. And that's something I regret a lot because, like I said earlier, the difference between me and
Were you sending underwear to adult fans as well? Is that something you did?
A mainstream celebrity, at least in the beginning, was that I was attainable and look, she'll talk to us. She'll interact with us and she's talking to us from our living room. She'll talk about anything.
I love how she also doesn't acknowledge in this at all that we were working for. I for one was fucking working for. This wasn't just her being our friend and talking to us. I was working for her for free.
And she's so open and she'll talk one-on-one with us. She meets us in person at her
with
show.
fake promises, by the way. Do this, and I'll bring you to fucking VidCon. I'll pay for you to come out to America. I'll fly you and your brother out. None of that ever happened.
And whatnot, and
some of her most fucking viral moments, mind you, on fucking Twitter. Some of her most fucking viral YouTube moments, by the way. My ideas. Sometimes literally my wording as well, but whatever. I'm still bitter about that to this day. I really am.
Know her, and I didn't think about that when I was interacting with my fans, I didn't think about a power dynamic that could have been there. I didn't think about a parasocial.
Now, this is immediately complete bollocks.
Obviously, of course you weren't as well because you were profiting from it.
Sorry, but I cannot take what she's saying here seriously.
And also, if you're a person who has fans and you're talking to them and getting things off of them, you're getting things off of them because you know that they're the fans that will do things for you. So this is bullshit lying.
Do not need a growing block in your life, a bad thing to happen to you, something that really makes you think and learn. You don't need that to
I think she forgets that was the grooming, the making you work with the promise of things.
To realize that inappropriately conversing with your child fans is bad. That sounds crazy. My neighbor's probably going to hear me saying that and be like, what is that man talking about? It's so ridiculous what she is doing here. But again, I know what she's doing here. I've just done multiple videos, again, as I said earlier, about Ned Former. And this is the Ned Former, party trick of being like, oh, they're all...
And that's not good to be compared to.
These bad things that I did. But now in hindsight, I've realized that those things were bad. And I would have done it differently if I had, the brain power and, thoughts that I have now after this big learning experience.
When they said part of my brain was missing.
Buddy. That's really cool. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything. You've done the things that you've done, but also, as I was just originally saying, you should not need these life lessons to teach you to not converse with minors in the way you are conversing with them. You are highly inappropriate to a monumental degree in these group chats, but also sending certain pieces of clothing to your young fans. Do you really believe that you genuinely just need to go through life lessons to realize that these things are bad?
It's a great point.
Why she's talking about boundaries. Obviously, we all have our personal boundaries in life, but I feel like they're instinctual. You just have a level of instinctual morality in your brain. One of them being, don't inappropriately converse with minors.
And also, don't you have a part of your brain that's let's not force children to harass my enemies for me. Let's not get children to harass my ex-husband for me, friends that I don't like anymore.
So immediately I think she's being manipulative here. Immediately I'm getting the PR team coming out here, which again happened with Ned Former. Different situations, cheating on the wife, conversing with my obviously different things, but I'm just getting the very Hollywood LA influencer talk here.
I don't even think she has a PR team.
Install barriers in my life between me and my fans.
Still don't.
And it's great. We were all doing that before any controversy ever happened to any of us.
There's no way someone's signing off on this.
Stop dying.
Relationship. And I should have been more responsible in thinking about that, but I didn't even think of myself that way. I was like, yeah, we are friends. Like, I think
you were talking to children. You knew their age. You were conversing with children. On the regular, by the way. You were pretty close with a lot of these kids. Like that, again, kids. Hear what I'm saying here. Kids. There is no justification, but she is doing that here. She is trying to justify her actions here by stating, oh, I just thought they were my friends, and yes, obviously I should have installed barriers, and I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry, but that's how you say it. That's how you say, I'm sorry. But if you're truly sorry, you should just say, guys, you know what? I messed up.
Or just stop bringing it up to the contrary. You know? It's not fucking easy.
I'm really sorry. There should be no 15-minute section it takes to get to this. It should straight out be, I'm sorry, I did all these bad things, and I messed up. It shouldn't be, oh, I thought you were my friends. I thought you were this. I thought you were that. I should have put barriers in place. No, because now you're trying to limit the damage. You're trying to make it sound much better than it actually is. You're trying to turn it into this learning experience when it's not a learning experience.
Learning experience is crazy.
The average human being just has in their brain already. Whereas for some reason with you, that wasn't in your brain. Is that what you're telling us? To be honest, that makes me even more concerned.
Felt the same way. And so for me, I was like, well, I'm just talking to my friends. I talk to all of them like they're my friends, my sisters, all the fans. And
they're not your sisters, though. They are children. You've admitted that you were getting a younger audience. Why would like, I don't understand I get why she's doing it. It's PR and she's trying to manipulate everyone into thinking that she's changed, learned and grown from the situation. But if I'm being honest, I don't think that there is a resolution to this situation. It's happened and she needs to accept it. But what this is her desperately doing damage control 2 years later when the things have died down, no one cares about Colleen anymore. And she's hoping that she can resurrect some of her previous audience.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she is bringing this up.
Manipulating them, and it's probably going to work.
I definitely should have been more careful with the way I was joking with them and the things I was saying to them.
Were you joking when you sent underwear? That's a weird joke to make.
Do you feel like not having a team earlier in your career hindered you from making better decisions?
What are you talking?
I was her team!
About a team. I don't have a team. Every YouTuber I know doesn't have a team. You might have an editor, but it's not really a team. We don't have PR teams to say, by the way, boys, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, how bad of a person do you need to be as a YouTuber to have a PR team?
Wait, by the way, can I give you $35,000 a year? No, actually, that's the UK, national average wage. Can I give you $70,000 a year to tell me not to message children? Can you tell me not to message people inappropriately in group chats? Can you do that? Because I need that, because I'm Colleen Ballinger. Makes no sense. It is weird that we're even suggesting, did Colleen need a team to not message kids? Like, let's be real. That's exactly what they're saying here. And I'm starting to get the vibe that these people aren't going to be as critical as I kind of hope they were. And that is a damn shame. It is a damn shame.
Good point.
These people are the people taking Colleen to task, and they're absolutely not taking her to task. It's asking silly questions like this.
I definitely wish I had someone to give me advice.
What advice do you need? Oh, Colleen, yeah, don't message kids. Don't message. That's a bad thing. It's like, oh my god, what are we doing? Why are we doing? Why?
It's such a silly, easy point, but it's such a good point. What does she mean by that? What does she mean she needed a team?
Are we really saying this?
I was with that group of like the first YouTubers that kind of like rose to any.
Yeah, and
let's look around at the other people. She's like acting like her fellow people like Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart and stuff have had the same fate she has. No, they just weren't freaks.
Problem is a lot of those first YouTubers actually all did message kids. Now, obviously, in different contexts and different stories, but I just think these original YouTubers have not learned. How are we 2 years on? She's had 2 years to contemplate, and she is still...
She's had 5 years total, mind you.
Not learning and changing. She is still trying to twist the narrative, even though the narrative it's set in stone. The ink is dry. It cannot be rewritten. You cannot change this in front of us. We were all there. I have like 9
So
hours
stop
of
trying to
videos
bring it up
on
and like
Colleen Ballinger.
fight the
Nothing
contrary.
has changed, and it will not change.
Just stop talking about it.
For some reason, you thought it was a good idea to come on this podcast and try and manipulate everybody into believing that it's actually not what it was, and you're different now.
Sort of stardom or fame.
And if you are different now, by the way, it doesn't change that these things have happened.
In the beginning. So it's not like there were people before me doing this that I could look to and ask questions about. This was a new thing. Yeah. And so...
having to look up to someone to tell you not to do all the things she did.
Message your peers saying, by the way, guys, is messaging kids bad? They'll probably say, yeah, it is bad. Well, YouTube back in the day, maybe not all of them, but a good 75% of them will say, you know what? Yeah, Colleen, that is bad. And I'm a little bit concerned you even need to ask that question. Because again, you don't need teams to tell you to not message your young fans or to not send them underwear. You don't need a
or
team
talk to them about their sex life or your sex life
to say, that's a really bad idea. Why are you even thinking that in the first place?
And I'm not saying that as an excuse. There's plenty of other people who rose to fame who didn't interact with their fans. And
you can interact with your fans. You can converse with your fans. You can do that. But you weren't just doing that. Let's be real. You were not just doing that.
Was something that I felt was...
Again, it kind of says to me, by the way, of her saying like, oh, they weren't interacting with the fans. That kind of says to me, she doesn't even know why we're actually angry at her. We're not mad at you for conversing with fans. We're mad at you for inappropriately conversing with fans.
An appeal to why people were watching me at all. And I felt such pressure to like...
It's a great point Fraser's making. She's almost acting like people have a problem with the fact that she was close with her fans rather than what she was actually doing.
Make sure I made
Are you going to seriously tell us that you felt pressure to inappropriately inappropriately message children? Are you mental? Is that actually what you're doing right now? Good God, woman, have some shame. Genuinely, what are you saying?
Fans happy because I wanted to do anything that they wanted, and I wanted to write back to every letter and respond to every message. And
it's really interesting watching this for a second time because she is kind of framing it like she was forced by us. No worries.
Whatever they asked for, I wanted to give them and do because they were the reason I had the career that I have. If it weren't for them...
You were approaching your 30s. You are 38 years old. And
also, in so many of the screenshots that we showed, she came into the group chats like asking for us, mind you. We were having our own conversations.
To me, it's clear that you haven't actually took any accountability in the situation. You should realize that, if you're... Like Colleen, think about this, man. There are rock stars out there, pop stars out there, K-pop stars out there with... billions of followers, man. Billions. People love them. They adore them. But, they don't just say, I've got to appease every fan I've got. I've got to message my underage fans. I've got to do that inappropriately. They don't do that. They realize, I've got...
Also, there's such a difference between messaging a fan back and, going in and being like, what is your favorite sexual position? Are you a virgin hoe? Let me tell you about my sex life. Let me tell you about my ex-husband's penis.
Got fans, young fans, and obviously they may want interactions, but you're the grown adult. You're the one approaching 30. You're the one that has to take the responsibility to realize that is inappropriate and you are not to do that. I don't even know why I need to spell it out like this.
I wouldn't have the life that I have and the amazing career that I had.
She's genuinely saying that she was worried that she'd lose her career if she didn't inappropriately message her children. I'm sorry if I keep on pausing this, by the way, but it's like every word she says is mental.
And it sounds like everything you were doing online was from a place of trying to please your fans.
Oh, God.
Sorry, again, this is my second time hearing it. It really is crazy just how they take what she's saying as gospel and go, oh my God, that makes perfect sense.
Connect with your fans and
not lose them.
Oh God, my brain's going to explode. Why are you doing this? What is going on? Why have you sat down with the person dubbed as an internet creep and you've decided to say that you think she did it because she was worried about losing her fans? Do you hear your English language coming out of your mouth right now? It's not a good thing to say what you're saying. You're making excuses. You may not think you are. You may say you're not doing that, but I'm hearing you make excuses for Colleen Ballinger, and that's probably the only reason she decided to go on to...
Which is why I believe that there's an element of, there has to be a reason mutually beneficial for both of them doing this.
This podcast, because she knew she was going to be allowed to make excuses, and they were going to make some...
But how does she know that? That's what I'm saying. Is she friends with these people? Is there management?
Yeah, that's pressure.
But no, it's not. There is no pressure in not messaging your underage fans.
Even with all of that, I wish first that there was someone there to help guide me and say
you do not need somebody to guide you into not messaging your underage fans when you are approaching the grown age of a 30-year-old woman.
Hey, this could look bad taken out of context.
You do not...
Could look bad? It is bad!
Need somebody to say, hey, I don't think you should do that because it would look bad in context of messaging your underage fans inappropriately.
This could look like... this could make someone uncomfortable, or
you do not need somebody to say to you, messaging your underage fans would make them uncomfortable.
I wish there was someone there to kind of help guide me.
You do not need to wish that somebody was there to guide you to not message your underage fans inappropriately. These are all things that every human being on the planet just does naturally. Well, I say 99.99% of humans on the planet does naturally. All of us just realize that, there are these natural boundaries in law, but also natural boundaries that say to you, don't do those inappropriate things. They don't even say it. You just know not to. You don't even have any inclination to even want to do that, obviously.
It is crazy hearing someone else, point out different things that maybe I wasn't focusing on in the moment. But it really, the way he's focusing on this, which is why does she keep saying she needed someone to guide her? It is as simple as just not wanting to talk to kids about sexual things or inappropriate things. It's actually that simple.
I'm more concerned about why you didn't have those boundaries set in your brain in the first place, but also why you wanted to message them in the ways that you did. You could say that you were lonely or whatever, but at the end of the day, I know plenty of lonely people, but they're not messaging underage fans.
But at the same time, I'm also disappointed in myself that I didn't know better because other people did. So why did I? You know, so that's something that I've had to work through is like...
Yeah, you needed 2 years to work on the fact that not messaging underage fans is probably the best way to go about your career.
Six.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Why didn't I think more about this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, but you're making excuses.
Didn't I think more about, you know, a parasocial relationship? But
no, it's not. Oh, God, stop. The buzzwords are out again. Ned Former-esque technique here of getting all the buzzwords out. Oh, guys, I realized that I was in a parasocial relationship. No, you were in an incredibly inappropriate parasocial relationship. Add in the key words there. You were so parasocially involved. I hate... My dog is sniffing on the floor. I apologize. I hate the word parasocial because these influencers, when they get called out, love to use it like it's some get out of jail free kind of, oh, guys, I've realized and understood now what the context of a parasocial relationship is, and I just didn't get it before, but now I do. Well, congratulations, buddy. Doesn't really change anything, though. It just makes me think you're even more of a weirdo for not knowing about these things.
Answers to those questions?
You know, I think it all boils down to me just really wanting to make them the people pleasing tendency of like, I want to do this because this will make they're begging me
I really can't believe that her approach to this was, I just wanted to make them happy because they were begging me. Number one, please look back on the screenshots. We would literally be talking about things in our group chat and she would come in and be like, where are you guys? She would literally, there's so many ones where she's like, where's Adam? Come back into my life. I miss you. When we're like talking about like something completely unrelated. There was no begging. There was also no, we were leaving her if she didn't message us. Like this, it's such a stupid...
You wanted to...
Yeah, I'm sure Jimmy Savile said the same thing. Obviously, I know, different sort of case, I know, but come on. Stop using this excuse of, I wanted to please... It sounds weird. It's because it is weird.
To love you.
I wanted them to love me. I wanted them to like my content. I wanted them to be happy with what I was putting out there because, like I said, everything that I had was because they supported me. And
guys, I can assure...
Also, everyone who's famous owes what they have to their fans. That isn't an unheard of thing. Like, I don't understand her argument here.
You are the reason that I have everything that I have, but I am not going to send you my underwear, all right? I'm not going to do it. I just don't think it's the thing that I really want to do. I've just realized, guys.
Someone had to tell you.
I'm so tempted to send my underwear to my fans, but... God, my neighbors heard me say that. I was so tempted. I was so close to do it. I went to the Royal Mail and I said, fucking...
Also, I think there's just so many layers to her sending the underwear because it's like she had to do international mail. You know how expensive and hard that is to do.
24-hour, please, mate. 24-hour express delivery. I need to send my underwear to my fans. But then, God sent down his lightning, and it went into my heart, and it went into my brain, and I realized, parasocial relationships are bad, guys. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord for his life lessons. Oh wow, I was so close to sending my underwear out that it was almost a tragedy. But thankfully, because of my beliefs and Colleen Ballinger, I've now realized that sending underwear to fans is bad. Thanks, Colleen. Because if I didn't ever watch this podcast, I would have went down to Calvin Klein and I would have bought a load of underwear and I would have just sent it out to everyone. Million people take my... I'm not going to continue this now.
So, that's what I was trying to do, but it would have been so much better for me to think about their well-being and if this would affect anyone in a negative way. Like, that's what I wish I had done.
When did you realize?
She doesn't care about that. That's why she's still doing these podcasts, by the way. And I'm talking specifically about, like, Oliver here and Becky here, younger than me.
Really? Like, did you need to have some, like, discussion in your brain to really realize that, it's bad to do the things that you were doing? Like, is that some... Like, really? You were in your late 20s, man. Come on. I'm 28. I know all of these things. Any 28-year-old does. Stop with this absolute nonsense.
Is that...
Also, why are these two not pressing her? Why are they not pressing her on this?
That's why there has to be some added layer here of knowing each other.
But they're not even pressing her, in my opinion.
People were starting to be negatively impacted.
Oh, man.
I do believe that the girl Miranda knows Colleen more than Raven, and that Raven is kind of just like tagging along for the conversation, which is crazy to me and irresponsible.
They were negatively impacted the moment she sent the messages.
There's multiple moments because it was like I said, it was a slow build, but like it was I'd see people who had been fans for a long time would come to every show, were commenting on everything that I, at this point, I'd recognize because I would talk to them and I knew them. And to see them slowly drop off one at a time, it was like, oh, they're
Isn't it crazy here? She says that she noticed things were going astray when fans were dropping one by one, instead of actually the fact that what she should be saying, which is whenever I confronted her with the fact she was bullying and harassing and using me and all the rest, whenever I was like a fucking child. Like, she tells on herself here, she started noticing things were going astray whenever fans were dropping off one by one. That shows that all you cared about is your career, and still to this day proves.
They're very upset. That was painful and really sad. And I wish I had listened more.
You don't need to listen to anyone
still not
to know that
listening.
it's bad to message. And I'm sorry to keep on harping on this line, but as long as she keeps on saying, I wish I did this, I wish I had somebody's talent to do this, I wish I said sorry, until she stops saying this and just says, right now, guys, I completely messed up, I'm going to keep on saying, you don't need all of this stuff that you've been saying you wish you had in your life at the time to realize that messaging kids inappropriately is bad.
And all that happened. I was so caught up.
I also
in
don't
the
think
things
she
that
paid
weren't
Raven or
true that were being
Miranda.
said
There
about
has
me.
to be some
And I
reason
feel
that
like
they
I
both
wasn't listening
did
to the
this.
things
I don't know what it
that
is.
were
It
true
doesn't
and
make
things
sense.
that I did make mistakes.
Absolute bollocks. What she is saying here is just a complete load of nonsense. You did not... it's actually frustrating. I saw Adam McIntyre getting frustrated at this exact clip yesterday, and I completely get why. I am not directly implicated in this story whatsoever, but hearing what she is doing here is genuinely disgusting. It's shameful, and she needs to be called out on it. What do you mean that you were so focused on all of the lies that you couldn't focus on the truth? Bearing in mind, the truth was she was in group chats inappropriately messaging her fans. She was saying inappropriate things to Jojo Siwa's face when Jojo Siwa was a child. She was sending out her underwear to her fans. This is what she was doing, and I don't think any lies or false rumors out there distracts from those horrible, horrible truths. But the reason she's saying it, it's a James Charles tactic now. We'll move on from Ned for now.
It is. It's for the general public. If you say that there were lies so you couldn't focus on the truth, then the public know, oh, there were lies out there. Where?
We'll go on to James Charles. James Charles loves to be like, there's 40 different fake allegations out there about me. And
James does love this
fake
tactic.
Allegations are bad even if the person has real allegations against them, mainly due to the fact that it dilutes the original story.
Yeah.
And now she is using the technique that James Charles
distracts
loves to use,
people.
where he's
It
like,
works.
guys, there are all of these fake stories out there, and he loves to point into that direction of the fake stories, but he rarely ever speaks about the real stories. And the reason for that is because it puts a thought into their fans' mind of, oh, there are all of these false stories out there, then maybe all of the ones that people think are true are also false, you know?
It's
And I
about
think that's what she's
discrediting.
doing here, in my opinion. There is no need to bring up fake stories. And by the way, in all of the videos that I made about Colleen,
Also, the title of this originally was It's Her Actual Apology.
the majority of the stories that I went through, I believe, were true.
Doing and take responsibility for those things instead
You've
of
not taken any responsibility. It's been 2 years. We're 21 minutes into this new podcast with your first
6
appearance
years.
speaking about this in 2 years, and you have not taken an ounce of responsibility. If anything, in my opinion, you have regressed. This shows that you haven't even learned.
I also agree with this point. I was talking to one of my friends from Weenies, and they were like, they still have the Weenies chat. Colleen's not in it. She left like 2 years ago because she was still in Weenies until 2 years ago, by the way. And the Weenies girls were messaging in the group chat. I'm not a part of it. It's just all of the Weenies, but like now grown up and without Colleen. And they were like, we think she's gotten worse. Like she's turned into a more evil person as the years have gone on.
To the point of where you were at, where you were in your ukulele video.
I was like, well, they're saying all these other things about me that are lies, and that's not true. And I was angry about those things, and I wish that I
lies,
had
dude.
just paused
Clarify.
and listened for a second.
There's a lot of things that were said about you. There's been allegations.
No questions on any of the things that you just said there. No,
Also, no pressing on like, do you want to say what the lies are? What are the lies? Like, goodness.
you get a little bit combative against her. Just that. That's all we're going to get. Absolute joke.
Grooming. Behavior, or how do you what do you think they're talking about?
Go on.
You're the interviewer. What do you mean? What do you think they're talking about? You're the interviewer.
That one is that's the one
Starring.
that got me the hardest. When that allegation came up, that's when I was.
I love that she's like talking about herself in like third person here. That's the one that shocked me the most. About yourself? You were doing the stuff.
I was out. I was done. Because
What do you mean you were out? What do you mean you were done? What does that mean?
it was devastating and shocking. It was very shocking because I know that my intention and my actions have.
I don't care about your
Intention doesn't equal fucking action. Goodness me.
intentions and actions. You were in group chats with children, inappropriately sending the messages. The intention you speak of doesn't change what you did.
Never been.
The behavior you normalized to those children doesn't get changed. You can't change that. You can't go back and change the past of what you did. You can't. I'm sorry, but you can't. And also, Adam McIntyre was harassed for years because he was called a liar in your community. Adam spoke...
And she's trying it again. She's trying it again.
About this for years. I remember it was the first video I ever saw of his. He spoke up about it, and Colleen never said anything. Because when he first spoke up, he was called a liar. Colleen never did anything. Throughout this podcast so far, she spoke about how these things gradually built up over time. She could have, if she really wanted to, if she truly realized how bad things were, she could have took accountability for her actions years ago. But
6 years ago,
she allowed Adam McIntyre to be called a liar by her community, and she did nothing about it. And that's how I know this is all bollocks, this is all nonsense, because she could have corrected the timeline 4 years ago, but she did nothing. And only 4 years later is she saying anything, because 2 years ago, the internet actually woke up and realized, whoa, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence here. This person is clearly a wrong'un, and that guy who was speaking about it 2 years ago or 3 years ago was actually in the right, despite we called him a liar for years on end. So no, I don't believe anything Colleen is saying here.
Fueled with the desire to manipulate or groom.
There's something so lovely about watching people like watch her attempt at doing this and not believing her, because again, in 2020, it was a completely different story. Like, there's something really validating about it. I'm like, yes, Fraser.
Anybody ever. That has never been something I have done or will ever do.
You can say that, but your messages and your interactions
suggest
and your
otherwise.
Reflect of that description. Now, I don't know if she directly is that, but I can understand why people have called her that over the years. I believe in my video, I called her a creep, something on those lines, but I can also see why people call her a groomer, because her actions, she was in inappropriate group, she was in regular group chats, making them inappropriate. She was a grown woman speaking to her underage fans in very bizarre ways, sending out things that she shouldn't have sent out. The way she acted with Jojo Siwa, she can say that it wasn't her intent, but unfortunately, I don't really think that matters. Your actions
and
were
Becky,
incredibly inappropriate,
Oliver,
and what you're doing now
Trisha,
is just making
Ella,
excuses.
And it's a very serious accusation.
Very serious.
Mm-hmm. So when
it's a serious accusation, it's even seriouser act.
And, that the
Content House with James, Colleen, Ned, and Alexa, I just got shivers.
those kind of words started being thrown around.
Thrown around. It's crazy.
I kind of shut down, and that was devastating to hear. And you asked, what does that mean to other people? That's why this was a hard thing for me to know how to navigate, because it wasn't about how
to navigate. She just ignored it.
Did she do or what didn't she do?
She ignored it publicly and fought it behind the scenes, as in trying to get people to expose me and shit. Not Ethan and Ela in the Content House as well. Goodness.
So
it was. What are you doing? Yes, it was. This whole thing was about what you did. This wasn't about a word. I think some people out there might say that she isn't a groomer. Some people might say she deserves to, face all these consequences for what she did, but they may not think she fits into that category. But everyone agrees that Colleen Ballinger did something extremely wrong for a long period of time. So no, this is...
And she wouldn't be so secretive, back and forth, podcasts here and there, addressing it here and there, if she wasn't hiding shit.
Exactly to do with what you did. This isn't to do with just a word. And I think what she's doing here, again, is she's trying to manipulate people into thinking that what she did was actually not perfectly fine, but not as bad as you originally thought.
More about what was her intention behind some of these actions, I think. And my intention was being decided for me by people talking.
Exactly. This is what I mean. She's trying to make it sound better.
What the fuck? It's just so shocking still hearing this. My intention was made up for people. I think your actions spoke for themselves, you crazy woman.
Than actually is. She'll probably say sorry in this. She'll probably say, I shouldn't have done that. But she's talking about how things have been rewritten, how her intention has been rewritten by other individuals out there. And now she's going to tell us what her intention is. But I don't care about what your intention is. The reality is
also, to address your intention means you acknowledge that it's bad. But she never acknowledges that it's bad or that she did it, just that her intention.
I am focusing on your actions. In this case, I don't need to focus on your intentions because you did inappropriate things multiple times that the average human being knows from a base setting human being level is wrong and inappropriate. If anyone else did this, we would say it's wrong and inappropriate. We came after people like James Charles for being wrong and inappropriate. We've come after other content creators for it. And sure, the context is different every single time. Sometimes people are being far more predatory than the others, but at the end of the day, you did something. You did a certain action as a grown...
Also, and unlike every other YouTuber that's been called out for like inappropriate actions, I think Colleen is one of the only ones that hasn't actually been like, yeah, I did that. Even James Charles acknowledged that he did message those like 2 16-year-old boys. He didn't acknowledge everything, but he acknowledged those. He ended up deleting it. Shane has acknowledged that he was creepy. Like, she really is like the only one who refuses it.
adult.
Oh my God, not the Alexa Nicholas. Adam needs to pay his rent. How do you pay your rent, Adam? Crazy woman.
Minors. And that cannot be changed regardless of what you say your intention is.
Free me from these failed child stars.
About it. My intention wasn't to hurt or do anything negative ever. Now that doesn't...
Again, this is a terrible argument because how many actual predators out there have used this argument?
It's an easy get out.
I've seen people come out with their apologies for messaging their fans in that way, underage fans. When I've heard certain apologies, they always love to say, I didn't intend to hurt them. I didn't intend to cause them trauma. That's great, buddy. I don't care about what you intended or didn't intend to do. People have been traumatized in this story for multiple different reasons. So no, I'm not going to care about what your intentions were because the reality is we need to focus on your actions, not your intention.
But if she continues to talk about her intentions, then she's filling up time on the podcast and it looks like she addressed things.
Because I don't know what you were intending to do in 2020 or 2016 or 2017, but I know what your actions were. I've seen this. I've seen the screenshots. I've seen the receipts.
I mean that people weren't hurt.
Right.
And that's the part that I wish I had paid more attention to. But I obviously didn't handle the situation the way that I should have.
Still not.
And it's really embarrassing. I wish that I could handle it a lot differently than I did.
When you say that, are you talking about like the apology?
Talking about a musical instrument that I should.
So is she not even talking about her actions here? Is she just saying?
That's what I'm saying. She's addressing everything almost in a third person, like it wasn't her, by speaking about intentions rather than the actions. And of course, because the interviewing is so fucking terrible, there's no pushback, there's no questions, there's no follow-ups, there's no...
I wish I handled the apology differently. Again, I don't know what's going on with Colleen's brain. So she's saying that she wished in hindsight she could have navigated the apology differently. Colleen, you were facing, as you've said, predatory allegations, and your first thought was to get on camera with a ukulele and sing a sing-song. That was your thought.
Not a sing-song.
You need to realize that something is wrong because you didn't realize that what you were doing previously with your underage fans was bad, and you still seem to not realize it when you pulled out a ukulele, and you also didn't realize that singing a song to an audience that are absolutely angry with you because of your horrible actions is...
There actually is fundamentally something so wrong with her. Like, that is really crazy to think about. Could you imagine, like, you were accused of being creepy towards children? You're like... I know a beat. There's a song for this.
Going to go down terribly. Are you telling me that you really didn't realize that the ukulele was going to be this astronomically hilarious thing that you get mocked for the rest of your life?
Not picked up. Yes. I mean, I should have listened to what people were saying, and I should have...
I think people want an apology.
Yes, they do want an apology.
The first time it's mentioned is from Raven being like, yeah, I think the people want an apology. And again, I really do believe that Raven doesn't know a lot about this situation. Again, don't do the interview then. I think it's probably Miranda that knows the most, probably knows Colleen. I don't know if I had to guess. And the fact that Raven's like, I think people want an apology. And then Colleen's like, yeah, of course. Like, you had to be reminded.
And finally, we've had a bit of combative nature against Colleen here, but also, I'm sorry. Let's just go back to what Colleen just said there. That is utterly hilarious.
I mean, I should have listened to what people were saying.
Nobody out there was saying, Colleen, I think it's probably best you don't get on camera with a ukulele. No one out there was saying to you, Colleen Ballinger, when you are facing these predatory allegations...
That's such a true point.
Don't get on camera and start singing a song about how you're not a groomer. Nobody said to do that. Literally no one, because it was
She's so fucking crazy.
It wouldn't even come into my mind. I remember exactly where I was when she dropped that ukulele response.
Me
I was
too!
walking home. I'd just gone out to hang out with some friends. I was near the O2.
I remember I had just hit live on a live, and within 5 minutes, people were like, oh my God, she responded. And I was like, guys, I'm going to have to leave. I want to watch this with my mom, and then I'll come back and talk about it. I literally call my mom. We load it up. She pulls out the ukulele. Within 5 fucking beats, I go, Mom, I'll call you back. I go back on live, and I watch it for the first time on stream. You guys remember the live? I was like, you know what, Mom, I can watch this on live. I was like, I can watch this. Yeah, we can watch this.
In London, and I was just about to go into the tube station, and I see a message. Somebody says to me, Colleen Ballinger has responded, and you won't believe it. And I click on the link, and I see it, and I am just... I don't think we'll ever get a moment like this ever again. I don't think we will ever get a moment like this ukulele moment ever again, because it's one of those things where you just think to yourself, how are you... I don't even know. This silly, this dumb, this stupid, this low IQ. It doesn't make sense. Her response was one of the most confusing things, and I still haven't wrapped my head around it to this day. Who on God's green earth thought that it would be a good idea to get on camera and respond in the way she did? Also,
did she think people were going to love it? I like the beat. You know what I mean? I guess I've got to give a little bit of, points for originality. We hadn't got that before.
I am genuinely concerned about this individual because it seems that she doesn't understand anything.
And I
think people want an apology. I think people want for you to acknowledge the things that happened on stage.
Can you imagine Raven having to say this like an hour into the podcast? I think people just want an apology, Colleen.
That you give that to them.
Fair play. Fair play. I will say, I believe this is Raven. She's done, I think she's done a lot better than this person. Miranda, not really contributed in any way, hasn't really actually asked any big questions in my opinion, but I can appreciate that she's actually asked that question. I'll take back some of the criticisms I made earlier. That's a good question. Well, statement.
I agree with you. I think that they do want an apology, and I am sorry. And here's the thing, is when you...
What? Did it just glitch?
An apology, and I am sorry. And here's the thing, is when you...
You can't just cut.
Wait, what the fuck?
You can't just cut on an apology. Did it just glitch?
An apology, and I am sorry. And here's the thing, is when you...
What?
Appreciate that she's actually asked that question. I'll take back some of the criticisms I made earlier. That's a good question. Well, statement.
I agree with you. I think that they do want an apology, and I am sorry. And here's the thing, is when you...
What? What possibly could have been cut out there? The one time she does an apology and there's a jump cut? Did she have to read a teleprompter or something? I can't believe I didn't clock that in the moment. I really, really, really can't believe I didn't clock that. That is crazy. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. She really is just a lost cause. She really is. She must have said something bad, someone said. I mean, I'd like, what the fuck?
What? Did it just glitch?
An apology, and I am sorry. And here's the thing, is when you...
You can't just cut on an apology. You can't just have a cut there. What?
I can't believe I didn't clock that.
What was removed there? I want to know that. What did they just take out of this section? I am so confused right now. Who thought that this would be a good idea? I would absolutely love to know what she said between that jump cut and this jump cut. Is the apology going to continue? I imagine so.
Mess up, but when you make a mistake and do something wrong, sometimes you got to keep apologizing for it.
Yes.
And that's what I should have done.
Yes.
Whoa, that's very strange.
And people keep saying it's an apology.
Wait, so are we just not going to hear her apology? She just said sorry and she was about to say something else, maybe actually go into some detail. The one thing that she's done right, say sorry.
Also, the one thing that was the title of the episode
was cut short and we're not getting anything else? What?
Song. I didn't apologize in that thing.
You did not.
I did not.
You know what?
There
You are
was
correct.
no
You did not
sorry in
apologize.
that.
Yeah.
Someone said, is that just a camera change? I don't think so, because she changes position.
Yes, it was the worst response I've ever seen.
You did not. I was actually laughing. So
All right, I actually don't mind Raven. I felt a bit bad for being a bit mean earlier. I think the introduction...
I hate Raven at this point. I was laughing when you did that. All right, good for you. Good for you.
...to this podcast was terrible, and I think they should have just jumped into it straight away. But I don't mind Raven. I think she's done a good job here.
That was some crazy penmanship.
We also, when in watching it, I remember one of the things that we talked about was it felt like you were angry.
Yeah,
and,
I was.
and burnt out and just...
Why is Miranda giving so many excuses here? That's what this is, no? By saying, oh, we felt that you were... I mean, maybe I'm over deep in it, but it's a weird thing to say.
They're also answering for her.
Yeah, fed up.
I was.
Yeah.
And it's very clear.
I think it's clear that you weren't taking any accountability or responsibility for your actions, and there was this bizarre thing in your brain that convinced you that this was the route to go down.
Well, her brain was half missing, or whatever the fuck they all say.
Decision that you've ever made in your entire career, by the way. But I don't think that there's anything here that excuses or makes me, most importantly, understand your actions that day. There's a difference between being angry and getting on camera and saying, I'm going to sing a song about me being called this horrible thing. Are you thinking right? Genuinely, are you really saying to me that there was the excuse of being angry is why you did what you did?
Also, as if that justifies it. Could you imagine everyone using that when they're involved in something?
It's why you got on camera. And
I think the standard is just so low for her that we're just like, right, whatever.
On the song. I have seen people go through controversy behind the scenes, and their thought wasn't when they were angry at people, let me jump on camera and start doing a drum solo. That would be an insane thing to do. So I think this is even more insane that she still doesn't understand the insanity of it.
I was angry, and that's why I keep saying I wish that I had just paused for a second. And
what do you mean? Again, she's acting like this happened in real time.
She's also acting like she was forced to sing a song. She wrote the song. She spent time writing the song.
There was an entire month of investigation. 2 months. I remember thinking that I was late to the story, and I still managed to make 2 3-hour videos and I believe 1 5-hour video about the entire story. I covered it from back to front, and then there was still time for Colleen to say something, and then one day, like a week after it, she decided to get on camera and release an apology. I may be wrong with my timeline.
I really wish I could have been like a fly on the wall, like her like writing the lyrics. Like how many takes of there were at? Like, was there a different chorus? Like, was there a different beat?
And upload dates there. But she had a lot of time. She had a lot of time to process her thoughts. There was the entire internet criticizing her. Yep. If she wanted to understand what she had done wrong, she could have just looked at Twitter. She could have looked at YouTube. She could have looked at TikTok and Instagram. But no, she decided to bide her time and come back with a sing-song.
You don't come up with a chorus that good. If you rush it, Fraser, have some respect.
The argument of, I wish I took more time or something like that, or just took a pause, is her.
It is crazy to say, for her to say, I wish I took more time. More time?
Hilarious, because you took a pause for weeks and then you uploaded a video and manually chose to post it with a title and thumbnail. I don't care what anyone says. This is absolute nonsense, designed to manipulate you into feeling bad for her and to kind of change the storyline here and make it seem like this all happened in one day. That absolutely is not the case. This was a long story that was drawn out over 4.
It is really crazy to act like this was like a quick thing, because it was not like that at all, Colleen. It was not like that at all. And anyone remembers. Y'all remember how long this shit was?
To 5 to
in
6
2023.
Years.
Listened to my fans. To my.
If there's anyone you need to not to speak to, Colleen, if there's anyone you need to not to speak to, it's your fans. Have you not learned anything?
Supporters.
The process.
Because while there were things being said about me that weren't true,
here we go again.
Get that right in there. Sully put that through and people might believe it.
People who would support me for so many years that I'm up here saying, like, I just wanted them to be happy. I wanted to make them happy. Well, they wanted an explanation. They wanted to understand what's going on. And they deserved.
And you gave them a little sing-song.
That. And I didn't give it to them. Instead, I was angry.
So she's not even basically saying here that she should have said sorry. She's just saying that she should have just got onto her YouTube channel and explained it to her fans in hopes that they stayed. That's kind of what I'm taking from this.
Yeah.
I'm taking her saying here that the
entire video is literally just, I wish that I didn't lose fans by doing what I did. And I wish I still had my career. And if I did things differently, I would have my career. And doing things differently is how she addressed the situation rather than the actions. Because I still don't think that fundamentally she sees the problem with what she did, which is why she keeps being like, when I talked to my fans. And that's all she'll say. That the problem is people think she was just talking to her fans.
She should have explained everything in her way to make her fans feel better. Not an apology for what she has done. Not saying sorry because her actions are just completely terrible, but just, I should have, I don't know, made my fans feel better.
Sing a song.
No worries.
Crazy.
It blew shit up.
Welcome to the live.
It was.
I'm aware.
Okay, just let you know, that was crazy, bro.
Absolutely crazy. And I think,
I think even Raven's like, I get the feeling that Miranda likes Colleen.
That's what I'm getting. I really do believe that Miranda and Colleen have to know each other. I don't know at all, but like they have to know each other, because the difference between Miranda and Colleen and Raven and Colleen is stark. Do you guys agree? Like, what's your opinion of their dynamic?
More than Raven likes Colleen, because it is one of the most insane things that I think I've ever seen on the internet, and it will be inexplainable for the rest of history.
By the way, when I look down, I'm reading your messages on here on my phone.
The dust did
in case
settle,
you think I'm
because
reading your messages.
like you were saying, I did want to address it, and I was being told. I got a lot of advice from a lot of people, and the majority of the advice was don't say anything. And
they didn't say she couldn't sing. That fucking Ariana Grande Victorious episode.
I'm sure you know from being in the industry for so long.
I tell her all the time, don't say nothing.
Right.
Yeah, but that's different. Your friend, if they get into a controversy for making a tweet that's a bad opinion or something like that, that is different. And that's kind of what I'm sick and tired about when it comes to these situations. People love to conflate serious allegations that have happened in these types of situations with just regular YouTube drama. I'm sorry, but this isn't that. This is a very serious situation where a lot of people have been affected. This isn't, oh, ignore the people who are mad at you for your latest tweet. This is, no, you should should address these things because these are life-altering and you have affected other people out there, other children out there. You have altered the trajectories of their lives. So no, this isn't anything like what she's saying here and isn't comparable to whatever Miranda got into, I don't know, in her controversies in the past.
Don't address it. Don't say anything. It will just make it worse. Don't address it. Don't say anything. It'll just make it worse. But I'm a different position than a traditional celebrity because people watch me because I was so open and I talked about everything. I mean, I've talked about everything.
That doesn't mean that you can be talking to us about your sex life, weirdo.
Like that.
Allowing your brother to fucking be so inappropriate with your fucking underage fans. Stop it, Jesus.
I've been through my mental health and my...
I don't care. I'm saying, like, she can deal with those things and good for her, but I don't care about this. I don't.
Births and my pregnancies and my journey to fame. Like, I mean, everything.
We don't give a fuck. Oh my God. It is all me.
But online very openly.
Yes, but you didn't get a ukulele out and start singing a song.
Raven Loki DGAF, actually.
About your mental health, as far as I know, at least.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. What she's saying here would be insinuating that the song was about her mental health or something. The video's still on her channel. Oh my God, we know.
You know, my audience, that was one of the reasons they liked watching me. And so then to suddenly be like...
Again, this is what I'm saying. Do you hear... This is what I said earlier about her lack of understanding of the world. And by the way, I know she understands it. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to go off this bait that she's putting out there of, oh, I just didn't understand it. I just thought this was how I do things. And the thing that she was saying earlier of, oh, I wish I had somebody there to tell me that it's bad to inappropriately message my fans. You know, these are all things that are just a complete load of lies. She knows that she should have never done what she did. She knew that all the things that she did was bad. And back when Adam McIntyre was originally calling her out in like 2021 or whenever it was, she knew then that it was bad and she chose to stay silent. She didn't say anything then. She just allowed him to be slandered, to be called a liar, and to be pretty much traumatized. And now she's getting onto her podcast or whatever to tell us that actually now she realizes that all this is bad and she's just trying to rewrite history as
she realizes it's bad without addressing why it's bad because she wants the audience to then be like, well, she has addressed it, now we can support her again. It's very James Charles core.
As we keep on going through this, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's more turning into a thing of, please just feel bad for me, guys. I've always been like this on my channel, and that's why it's completely normal. I've always spoke to my fans in this degenerate way. It's just how I worked, and I just thought that's why I'll get on camera and start singing a song about not being a predator. It's mental. Do you hear yourself?
Not only am I not going to talk about this, I'm going to sing this song about it. And it was such a choice. It was such a...
I mean, she's not wrong.
I very much.
Such a choice, bro.
Yes. And so I think...
But she also did it because she didn't take it seriously. So she wanted us to know that she wasn't taking it seriously. And like 2 years later, she has to remind us that she didn't take it seriously.
You know, I was like getting so frustrated because I was just like, let me just address this. Like, please let me just talk. I just want to talk about it.
You didn't address it. You got on camera and started singing a song.
This. And so finally after I posted the video.
She acts like we haven't seen the song.
It was shortly after I posted it, I was talking to someone on the phone from my team, and I was like, oh.
Another child, probably.
Oh.
Wait, let me get this straight. Earlier you were saying to us you needed a team to tell you to not do things. You said to us you needed a team to tell you to not do certain things because you just didn't really have the brain comprehension to understand that certain...
I'm glad he picked up on this.
...and bad things wouldn't fly well on the internet. But now you have a team. You still uploaded this. This was your first response to
You said you wish you had a team to tell you not to do these things, but then you said that you did the toxic gossip train, then reached out to your team.
Everything. Do you hear yourself? You're only digging yourself a bigger hole.
Huge mistake.
Because what you're saying...
Baby, there's no team.
You wouldn't even listen to your team in the first place. Say, theoretically, like 8 years ago, whenever these actions all took place originally, if you had a team then, you probably would have just ignored them in the first place, like you clearly ignored your team here, who would have said to you, yes, Colleen Ballinger, don't get on camera and sing a song about not being a predator.
That was really stupid. It was like there was so much... I have to say something, and finally I let it out.
What does regret feel like?
Oh, it's horrible.
She doesn't regret the song. She doesn't regret doing what she did. She's just upset that she lost essentially her career in the process of it.
I mean, you're regretting the fact that you've lost your entire career and you're probably not having millions come in the bank every single month anymore. You're not regretting the fact that you did something bad.
That you are regretting that you don't get the attention of children anymore because you're continuing to say that that is the thing that you adored.
Not regretting the fact that you've traumatized somebody. You're not regretting any of that. In my opinion, you just regret the fact that you were caught.
Horrible. It's horrible. Because because you want to fix it. You can't fix it. And that's the worst. Like, I wanted to fix it so bad, and there was no fixing it. There was nothing I could do to fix it. And That was so awful. That was because not only did I not address anything that I wanted to address, not only did I not, dispute the lies that I wanted to dispute. And
again, she's bringing up the lies. She's trying to make this seem less worse than it actually is. This is such a bad response, by the way. Like, I genuinely argue that this is worse than the ukulele response.
I also feel the same way. I feel the same way. She should have just shut the fuck up. Or just respond normally.
Because at least in that response, all we saw was somebody just completely losing their mind. But in this is calculated. This is manipulative. This is PR written all over it, man. This is genuinely an abomination of a response.
I really wish Miranda or Raven would be like, what lies? We have time. I want someone so desperately to get her to list the lies.
And again, it shows she hasn't learned and changed, because did she really think getting into this podcast would change anything? Did she really think that going onto a podcast and speaking in the way that she is in this podcast was going to win back the fans, was going to convince the internet, oh yeah, actually guys, her sending underwear to fans, that's perfectly fine. No one was ever going to say that, and I genuinely cannot believe after 2 years of being cancelled, you thought this was the best way to go about things.
I just made things it was so bad.
By the way, her only ever apology so far was literally cut. She said, I'm sorry, they cut it, and it moved on to something.
I can't believe I didn't clock that the first time.
Else. That is how bad this is.
So where do you think your mind went during that time? That you were so unable, I guess, to have the perspective you have now?
Were you trying to save a character? Were you trying to save yourself? Were you
just like completely
blacked out in
kind
anger?
of disconnected from it, and you're like, I'm just going to do this because I'm pissed?
I feel like it was a little bit of all of it. I mean, it was really overwhelming to...
Sorry, I've got to speed it up. This is taking too long.
Have these words thrown around in connection to me and my name that are
thrown
really
around.
I mean, that's a horrible thing to be.
There's a reason that they've been thrown around, though. There's a reason that these allegations have come out about you. It's not like these are just faceless allegations with no proof or evidence whatsoever. There is a reason to why all of your fan base completely abandoned you. You literally said before this that you were devastated that your fans had left. You were devastated realizing that fans were going because they were mad and upset at you for the things that you had done.
And to be accused of when you know that you are not that. Especially because...
if you know you're not it, you seem pretty confident. Tell us why you're not it. Like...
I mean, that's one of the worst things a person can be. It probably is. And so to be accused of that, knowing that I'm not...
Are you speaking of grooming?
Grooming.
And can you imagine your response to if you deem this so serious to be a fucking song and dance? She's so annoying.
Grooming and in any way harming children, yeah, is the opposite of something or someone I am or ever would want to be.
That's not true. Unfortunately, that's not true for your sake. You've harmed children. You have. With your actions, you have. Now, you can say that you're not a G-word or whatever you want to call it, groomer.
And again, it's like subjectively, you have done the things you're saying you haven't done.
You can say that if you really want to say that. But at the end of the day, people are going to call you it for your actions. People have seen what you have done in the past. And unfortunately, to a lot of people out there, for your sake at least, unfortunately, that fits their textbook definition. Now, we can debate, the semantics of it. We can debate the semantics of the word. I am personally here just to say that what she did in 2018 or whenever it was absolutely heinous. And there is no excuse for it. And her saying it wasn't her intent to hurt anyone. It wasn't her intent to do this, to do that. She was just trying to be a good YouTuber to her fans. It doesn't change anything. We're judging you by your actions, not your supposed intentions. And by the way, she should have known these things were bad 7, 8, 9 years ago. She should have known it, but she's trying to pretend that she didn't, which is absolutely bollocks.
And so to be connected to those words was devastating. It still is. And that's something that will,
it'll follow you around.
It will.
It will follow you around.
It will.
And rightly so.
Harping on about it, following you. Okay, this fucking paper straw is fully disintegrating. So annoyed. I'm literally like, I got a little bit of paper with that said. You're saying that they continue to follow you around. I wasn't talking about it. Trisha wasn't talking about it. Oliver wasn't talking about it. Becky wasn't talking about it. Joshua David Evans wasn't talking about it. Your snark page had dried up. You brought it up. It's almost like you want them to follow you because it's the only thing that gets people talking about you these days.
In your live shows where there were children brought up on stage and you were, as Showbiz says, going for the funny in a lot of moments. However, looking back at moments, there is another...
And who set that system up? Literally.
On the internet who is saying that when she went up on stage for your live show...
Shout out Becky. Can we get some love for Becky?
You'll be challenged
love
section
you,
of your show. And it made them feel gross. Later in life, they were essayed. And when they look back at that moment with you, they feel...
I never forget that Colleen's first response to Becky was actually pinpointing making fun of her in the Toxic Gossip Train. Becky was the only person that Colleen directly made fun of in that song. Not me, not Oliver, not Johnny, not Trisha, not Josh. Becky. So she says, I was heartbroken when I found out that this affected Becky. Becky was the only person that you directly made fun of in the song.
Similar feelings. Can you dive a little bit deeper into what happened at the yoga challenge?
It was a challenge on YouTube for a while for people to try out different yoga poses. Like couples would do it together. Because
also such a great point that Moses brought up. She says this as a justification. You know, couples on YouTube were doing these yoga challenges, and then she goes, so I would bring kids up and do it. You would do couples challenges with a kid?
You're not experiencing yoga, it's difficult to do. And so, since I'm a YouTuber on my live show, sometimes I would do challenges from YouTube. So I did that challenge, and I'd have people come up on stage and do different yoga poses that popped up on the screen. And obviously, we could never do them, and I would be, flailing about as Miranda. And there was one pose where there are two people, and both legs are spread up, and you're holding each other's legs. And I genuinely never thought of it as a sexual or inappropriate thing. To me, the joke was that when the legs were open to do the pose.
I have not seen the clip she's describing for a while, but I remember it happening. Like I remember the clip going viral and the people speaking about it. I spoke about it in previous videos, and I remember it being incredibly inappropriate. So once again, what we have here is her trying to change the narrative of the situation. She's admitting, obviously, these things happen. She's admitting that this person had her feelings, but she's trying to divert the situation and people's beliefs about what actually happened.
Which is so gross. Becky, I don't know if you're going to see this, but I have so much time and so much love for you.
Stating what her intention was her. And again, unfortunately, Colleen, that's not going to work because we're not judging on intention, we're judging on actions.
Yes!
The fart sound effects came on screen. So it was like, once the legs opened up, there was a fart sound. And to me, that was all I thought that joke was.
And you would purposely encourage your younger fans to dress, as Miranda would say, as porn with skirts and low-cut things or whatever, and they're the ones that you would bring on stage to open their legs. Colleen, context.
I never knew that was something that would make someone feel uncomfortable and trigger emotions and feelings.
What do you mean?
Terrible about that. Genuinely,
when
I heard about that, I felt so bad because
she is the only person that you made fun of in the song directly. Fuck you.
It's something I never want to do. Is
Are you going to say sorry then?
Trigger anyone, especially a girl who's been through horrible things in that manner. That is so terrible that me doing this silly yoga joke, in my mind, a silly yoga joke could be something that could trigger her in such a negative way and affect her in such a negative way. And it's awful. And I'm really proud of anyone who's been able to come forward and
is this just going to be excuses for the rest of the entire podcast? Let's try and see if they go any further into the actual details, because we've gone through
no apology
main part now. I don't want to watch pretty much every.
She'll be told something she did bad, and she'll be like, "I feel so bad," bringing it back to her rather than an apology.
Single minute of this podcast. I mainly wanted to see if she actually says sorry. So let's skip a bit forward.
How it seemed to me, I didn't think more about how that could be affecting the younger people in the audience.
Do you feel like you have a different perspective now between, let's say, like bad judgment and harmful behavior?
I definitely do. Yeah, I certainly think that and especially now, now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children.
Boo. You were a mom during all of this. You were a mom when you were doing all this shit to me. You were a mom when you were a mom when you were fucking doing all this shit to Trisha. Like, that card doesn't work.
And I wish that I went into my interactions with my fans with that same mindset.
You were already a mom!
Again, this is what I mentioned earlier towards the beginning of the podcast. She's doing the Ned Former tactic, and it's genuinely disgusting. She's saying, oh, now I've done this. Now I've got this. Now it's past what those events that have actually taken place and, have traumatized people. Now that's happened. I've realized, guys, that, messaging kids is actually a bad thing. Now I've got kids. I've realized that actually that's bad. Well, unfortunately.
Which is also a weird argument to make. Now I have kids. I know it's bad. First of all, you were messaging when you still had kids, but whatever.
That doesn't resurrect the situation. That doesn't change anything. And to me, what I'm hearing here is just more excuses. I'm hearing somebody trying to make this all seem a lot less worse. I'm hearing somebody manipulate their audience that's remaining, or trying to manipulate people like us into thinking, oh, she's grown and she's changed. Well, unfortunately, my friends, that doesn't work in the context of what we're talking about today. That type of argument of growing and change is, oh, this person used to have terrible political opinions, and now they've grown and changed and become a better person. I can accept that, for that type of argument. But this, I can't accept it. I don't care that you've got children. I don't care that that's made you realize that, messaging kids is a bad thing. That's just something that most human beings know is a bad thing. I don't have kids, and I know that's a bad thing. So it's worrying that you and your 20s...
Also, yeah, I think that the concept of you have to have kids to know that you shouldn't be inappropriate with kids is a very weird, dangerous thing to admit.
Didn't know that was a bad thing.
Everything I say can affect them, and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
Did parents ever confront you after? Did you ever get any kind of interaction with an adult who said, this didn't feel good for me and my child?
Also, again, in her original video, she shows that she had like a back and forth fight with my mom. So yes, she did have fights with adults, and there were other times as well when adults would complain about her show, and she says, no, maybe only once, and that was because I swore on stage. That's not true.
Child?
No, I never did personally. I don't know if someone got that message. I never received it. The only complaint I ever remember receiving in that way, in person from a live show or anything, was at the beginning of my shows. I used to do a ukulele song, where I would
ukulele.
Jesus.
I know, where I would sing the hate comments that I received, and there was hate comments, so there was a lot of bad language, and the comments were on the screen, and I would sing them.
Don't care. Let's skip forward.
People were laughing with you and quote unquote at you because of the character. it must feel so like two-faced for you, for all these people who were laughing with you, and then all of a sudden
Have them turn against you.
I don't, yes, it
Because she was fucking harassing us behind the scenes. No wonder we turned against her.
it's painful to see people who support.
Well, they've turned against her because she messaged kids. Like, I don't understand the argument we're making here. They turned against her for a pretty valid reason, in my humble opinion. I don't get why we're even asking that question. And this is kind of why I don't even want to go through the rest of this podcast. We're going to get through a bit more, don't get me wrong, but I just know this is just going to be nonsense from here on out. We're 35 minutes in. We haven't necessarily had a proper apology. We've had an I'm sorry, but it got cut off. That was the main reason we were here, and it got cut off.
I really can't believe that I didn't clock the fucking jump cut in the one apology. That's how stressed I was watching this for the first time.
But let's hear what she has to say. Does she feel betrayed by her fans?
Me and laughed with me and all this stuff.
Who cares?
Suddenly turn and change their mind about it. But I don't blame anyone but me for... I completely blame myself, especially because I know that people do make mistakes and people
God,
can...
I clapped you and I regret it instantly, man. Jesus, I thought you were about to say something that actually makes sense. But no, it's, oh guys, people make mistakes. What you did isn't a mistake.
Yeah.
You traumatized people. I'm sorry, but you absolutely did that. So no, this isn't just, oh, I made a little mistake, guys. A little mistake is, oh guys, sorry, I said something dumb. I got a fact wrong in my commentary video. It's not, oh guys, sorry, I mistakenly sent my underwear to somebody. Guys, sorry, I sent my Calvin Kleins to somebody again. Royal Mail, Express 24 hours delivery, and they sent it to their address. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't mean to do that. That's not a valid excuse because it's not an excuse.
Learn and grow and change. And one of my biggest mistakes was not listening and addressing things and taking responsibility.
Oh God, it's just more of what we've gone through. Is this going to be?
Like, I just want you to forget that.
Is this just going to be a repeat?
Also, and then it's just giggling, whatever. It is fundamentally really interesting how, again, on a second full watch of this, just analyzing how much of this is her like talking about the concept of things rather than actually doing them. She still isn't taking it. Oh, absolutely she isn't.
Of everything they've said so far, I've got to learn, grow, and change. I wish I had people there to tell me not to do it before. I wish I was the person that I am now. That doesn't change anything. Is there going to be anything of like value here?
Joke, you what?
Cut it, I stopped doing it because it was. My fans were, a lot of them were.
She cut it after like a year or two.
Obviously, this joke is not. I'm not doing it. It's not working. It's not appropriate. And so I cut that. I regret doing that. I should have never brought kids up on stage, even though the joke was.
Okay, so you regret bringing up kids on stage. Okay, you regret it because you were caught. That's basically it.
You regret because you got called out for it. If she was still fucking touring, by the way, she would still be doing the same fucking shit. Jesus Christ!
Is she just regrets that she was caught in pretty much every aspect? I'm not getting an I'm sorry, so I am going to just skip through it. There's still nothing of value.
Everyone is saying kind of the same
thing.
Everyone seems to know a joke. Everyone seems to understand it. Everyone is saying send it, and then you have this person not dropping it after that, but continuing the conversation weeks after this has happened. I can see where.
And again, I'm not going to get angry about it, but fuck you, Miranda, for implying that the lingerie thing only happened because I was fucking beg for it. Again, I posted a video. It's called Colleen Ballinger Doesn't Want You to Watch This. It is a very quick and to the point, showing you the facts of everything. I would go and watch it. I'm not going to get annoyed over this again, but I've just factually proved that is a fucking lie. And fuck you, Miranda, and fuck you, Raven, too.
You don't think about potential negative consequence because in that moment it feels
You shouldn't have
pure.
to think. You should just know that it's weird to send kids lingerie.
It was my responsibility to know.
Okay, they're talking about the messages. Let's go back.
In there somewhere. That was like, maybe not, because I hesitated. But then I was like, and I didn't send it.
She didn't hesitate about
something like that.
I'm not going to get annoyed about it again.
I always loved giving away gifts to my fans.
Oh, here we go.
Send
Finally,
them like a
40
body
minutes
Miranda's
in.
or a lipstick around an old shirt, Usually it was to encourage them to donate to a charity event that I would do every year. But I loved giving out stuff. And so I was doing a live stream like I did pretty often, and I was opening up a box of
Let's talk about Adam
clothes that I
McIntyre
bought.
here.
And in it was this underwear bra set that I didn't order, and it was we were laughing about it. So everyone in the chat was laughing about it. My friend,
this
he actually
story
put on over his clothes.
this story changing from lingerie set I didn't order to lingerie set that was mine that I didn't wear. Like, pick a fucking story.
Contextualizing the situation here, by the way, the recontextualizing the situation, it was still yours. It was still your underwear, even if you didn't order it or whatever. It's still yours, and I think it is still inappropriate to send it to a kid. That is very weird. Why would you even be in communication with that kid in the first place? And we know they had direct communication.
Also, in the video that I show, she literally is like, "Adam, you want this," while Corey's going like this, wearing it. Please, I didn't say that. They said that.
The situation to benefit her, and do not accept this. This is insane.
We were laughing about it, and there are people in the comments saying, "Oh, send that to me, send that one to me." And we were
I didn't.
That's crazy. But then there's one guy in particular who kept asking us to send it,
Adam,
and I was like,
"Fuck you!"
You can tell in the live, like I'm like hesitant about it because there is a little bit of brains in there somewhere.
Shut the fuck up! That's not true. Whatever.
And just because if they are consistent with asking you for something, it doesn't mean you then reward them with that something.
I'm not going to let it rage bait me again, but it's not true.
If a kid's going up to you and saying, "Oh, I don't know, can I hang out with you? You're 25 years old. Can I hang out with you?" You say no. You keep saying no, or you just ignore them and they keep on asking. You don't just cave in. You don't just cave in and send them your underwear.
Also, that's something she doesn't acknowledge as well. She did hang out with me in person as well.
So what argument is this?
That was like, maybe not, because I hesitated. But then I was like, and I didn't send it. I didn't. But then it was just became an inside joke with the fandom, and everyone was like telling me to send it, and he kept asking for it. It was like months of this. And so finally I did, and it was very public.
She's basically blaming the fans here. She's basically stating it became a joke in the fandom. It just kept on happening, and I just ended up doing it. I just ended up sending it. You clearly knew that it was bad, by the way. But the fact that you didn't send it originally, and you also just said there was hesitation in your mind, you knew it was bad, and yet you still admit to doing it. But despite that, you're still trying to change the narrative of what actually happened here by your intentionality.
Please go and watch that video that I posted like 2 days ago. It's really quick and to the point, and it's really important to watch for context.
As a joke, and it was like a part of my brain was missing an action of like, hey, this is not a good idea.
Yeah, it's a really bad idea. And now you're acting like you have suddenly realized that, and it changes anything.
It's bad. It
6 years later.
A pair of my something that I sent to a young fan in an inappropriate way, but it was inappropriate. Like, why would I? What part of me thought like everyone will know this is a silly joke in the fandom? Like that was. I wish I'd never done that. That was so inappropriate. And if he was made to feel uncomfortable because of that, like I feel terrible.
If he was made to feel uncomfortable about that, this is the same individual who we're talking about here that has spoken about Colleen and the actions that she has done for years now. Was called a liar about it originally. She did nothing to dismiss that. She did nothing to say sorry to him.
She actively tried to get my friends to gather information for her to expose me with. If he felt, shut the fuck up, you crazy woman.
Even then, she's barely. I don't even think she's made an apology directly to him, and still, she's.
I don't think she did.
The narrative on it to this day. She is still not owning up to it. She's still not taking any accountability, in my opinion. She's just trying to change what people think happened. She's trying to make people think her intentionality was different.
So sorry, because that was not my intention with that. I thought it was like a silly inside joke with the whole fandom. It was all very public, and it was
the inside joke of sending your 13-year-old fan underwear. Great joke, mate.
I thought it was a silly thing, and it was so stupid.
It's also difficult, I think, in that specific situation when you feel like you're being.
What's difficult? Miranda, shut the fuck up!
Mate, please don't make excuses. Please don't make excuses. I will turn this podcast off right now if you make an excuse.
Given permission, if you will, because everyone is saying kind of the same thing. Everyone seems in on the joke. Everyone seems to understand it. Everyone is saying send it, and then you have this person not dropping it after that, but continuing the conversation.
Yeah, you don't just cave. You don't cave. They're a kid. Of course they're going to be acting this way. They're a kid speaking to their favorite influencer.
After this has happened, I can see where you don't.
No, you can't see it. What are you saying? It almost sounds like you're agreeing with it.
About potential negative consequence because in that moment it feels pure.
And you're not sending it in a sexual manner.
No.
Oh, why should you be thinking about the consequences? You should already know that it's a weird thing to fucking do.
These excuses. It doesn't matter the intentionality of it. You did it. You sent it. The action has happened. Oh my god. Again, change the gender. If I sent out my underwear, my lovely Calvin Klein, I don't even own Calvin Klein's. It's just the only underwear brand I know. If I send them to a 13-year-old girl in my audience, send me to jail, lock away the jail cell, throw away the key. That's obviously an insane thing. Why are we making this argument here? This is genuinely disgusting, and I really do feel bad for Adam McIntyre in this situation. Even years on, his story is being demolished by this horrible, horrible load of nonsense. People are still trying to doubt him, recontextualize him, change the narrative on what happened, and it is just disgusting.
Well, I appreciate that, but at the same time, like, it was my responsibility to know.
Yes, it was.
Her responding to them being like, we understand why you would do it, and she's like, well, I appreciate that. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, I shouldn't send this. This could look really bad.
Say sorry.
It should look really bad. It is really bad.
Well, uncomfortable. Yeah. That's where, even though it doesn't matter how many people are egging it on or asking for it, begging for it, and thinking it was so funny, and everyone, seems like
it doesn't matter how many people are begging for it or egging it on. Oh my god.
This joke. I should have taken a second and been like, maybe send a bobby pin.
Maybe don't send anything to the 13-year-old fan.
Yeah. This is not the thing to send to someone. This is not something
a silver one or a black one?
Well, I think I usually use the black ones.
Yeah,
The black threads.
Something else.
Oh, that's great. We're joking. We're making little funny jokes, little quirky jokes about her sending underwear to fans. That's definitely not weird and odd.
That has come up and been discussed is the fact that you would participate in group chats with your fans, and there were minors in those chats, and there would be questions regarding their virginity and sex positions. Right. Inappropriate questions are being asked to underage people. What was going on?
That's true. It's completely inappropriate. And I used to do this weekly question and answer thing with my audience.
And God, she says, yeah, that was true. And we used to do it weekly. Is that what she's about to say?
That particular group chat was full of a bunch of different fans of all ages.
She goes, well, yes, this happened every day.
But they were crass and funny and ridiculous, and they would, whenever I asked for questions for my channel, they would
recontextualizing the situation, not really admitting to a fault other than saying that yes, that happened.
It is really interesting that she goes, yeah, that did happen, because there's so much proof, by the way, and then now she's trying to explain why she did it.
Crass, they were funny.
Underage people, yeah, please don't. Underage people, underage man, all this terminology they do to just ignore the fact that she was talking to fucking kids about sex and shit.
Trying to put it into your mind that she thought that this was a funny group chat and she could say anything in it. You're a grown adult, you're a YouTuber, already a power dynamic there. There are children in that group chat. There is no excuse for it being crass and funny.
Ask me questions like that. They would ask me questions they knew I wouldn't answer that were over the top, inappropriate. So
we would ask you questions you wouldn't answer. Girl, you would come in and tell us about your sex.
When one of them, which this part of the conversation sound deleted, those parts of the conversations.
That's not true! Oh my god, she's like, well, these parts of the context are deleted. We've shown so much. You've shown nothing.
Are deleted or gone or somehow, I don't know. But they're...
Well, she doesn't know. She doesn't know where they are. It's not like we fucking showed them.
when they asked for questions for theirs, I was trying to do the same jokes that they had just previously been doing with me. Stupid and inappropriate.
Why were you in a chat where they were doing it with you in the first place? Why were you in a chat where you were experiencing that type of humor with your underage fans? It's not stupid what you just said. You just said stupid. It wasn't stupid. It was wrong. It was disgusting.
Also, Raven's barely talking. That's why I genuinely feel like Raven is so uninvolved in this.
Never happened, and you're still trying to alter what happened, even though you're on this podcast, which is apparently your actual apology.
Rich shouldn't have done it. I feel really embarrassed and stupid. And
did you know they were underage at the time?
I knew that there were teenagers in the chat. Yeah.
Oh God, Jesus! And she still hasn't got into the apology. She said, "I'm sorry" 30 minutes ago, and that was that on a cut, by the way.
I did know that, and I also thought, well, they don't know I'm serious.
Are they going to make any more jokes after this, by the way? She's just admitted to inappropriately conversing with 13-year-olds about seriously disturbing things.
It is so crazy to me that she, like, openly confirms she did these things, and she's still just kind of allowed to, like, bat around and play this image on her YouTube channel about being loving mother instead of her actually just being a fucking creep.
Are they going to make any more jokes? Because if they do make jokes, that is absolutely disgusting. Look at who you're talking to. For this entire podcast.
And honestly, thank you guys so much for, like, giving me a platform and, like, sticking around, because I'm so glad that I continue to be able to speak up and, like, have a voice in this and not allow her to do this to other fucking people, because I promise you, the way she's speaking about her career, she would be doing this to other people. Goodness.
They've been trying to say that this person isn't a predator, pretty much. I can understand why somebody would say that's predatory. Being in group chats, approaching your 30s, acting in the way she did, I can get why people would say that she is predatory.
Answers these questions.
Because again, if it was a man with a bunch of 13-year-old girls, we would say 100% that's predatory. Why is it any different here?
They all know that I'm just joking around, like they do this to me. They know I'm not going to answer the questions. I know they don't want to answer. You know, like I thought, like this was, you know, it was clear between all of us that, like, I was joking. I didn't actually want.
Again, recontextualizing it. She's not taking any responsibility. I was joking.
She confirmed it happened, and now she's trying to, like, change it.
Guys, it was clear. It wasn't clear. They were 13-year-old. They were teenagers. They were kids. They were children. Probably wasn't clear to them. They probably thought they had a bit of a chance with you. They probably thought that, oh, you know, maybe I can become really close with Colleen. Maybe I can become besties with.
And we did! Regardless of what she wants to say, we did!
Colleen. So no, this isn't just this was a clear. It might be clear to you, which personally I don't believe. I don't believe that you set any boundaries in your brain whatsoever, because you basically told us that in this same podcast. You said to us that you need a team to tell you to do things.
But then she says that she does have a team, mind you. She says, I wish I had a team to tell me no. Don't talk to kids, Colleen. But then she goes, we did have a team. And I told them after the Toxic Gossip Train, they were, like, pissed. Which one is it? Which one is it? Gosh.
In regards to boundaries with children. So no, I don't think there were any boundaries there. I don't think it was clear, especially to how kids are. Young children who are fans of somebody, if they're adult.
Also, she weaponized this dynamic so much for us to do free work for, attack people that she wanted, search gossip sites for info on people she didn't like, take down other YouTubers she didn't like. She got stuff out of us. Please.
Superstar celebrity is speaking to them in a certain way that you were. They're not going to know if that's clear or not, because they're kids. They don't understand the boundaries. They don't understand what's clear and what's real and what's not real.
From this person, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny to ask a really absurd, crazy question. And
I really do believe that when she references her team, by the way, she means the rest of Weenies after I left. Or maybe the fact that she hired Andrew Bretler after. I'm sure he wasn't happy about that fucking song and dance that she did. Goodness. Because she was still in Weenies, mind you, until 2023. I will never let her live that down. Colleen, I will never let you live it down that you were in the Weenies group chat until 2023. She only officially left the Weenies group chat in 2023. I will never let her live that down. That is fucking embarrassing, dude.
A bunch of questions I asked, those are just
definitely normal for the 30-year-old woman.
Oh my God.
To think it was funny to speak inappropriately to minors.
A few of the awful ones I did, and I very much, I should have never done that. That was crazy of me.
It wasn't in a grooming fashion.
Absolutely not.
Oh, it wasn't in this fashion. Again, speaking about intentionality, trying to change the narrative here by saying it wasn't.
And why would Raven or Miranda know her intentions behind it? Stop speaking for her. That's why I feel like there's a deeper level to this podcast / why this happened / what are we doing here? But I do believe that Raven being so kind of, you know, I feel like Raven's a lot less present in this conversation than what Miranda is. And I think that may be an inkling that Miranda is more involved than Colleen, or than Raven to Colleen. I still don't know, though. I don't know any of their connections. I don't know how this benefits anyone. I guess Raven and Miranda got their most successful episode yet. But, like, how does this benefit Colleen in any ways? Like, clearly she knew how this was gonna go. I don't fucking know.
It wasn't my intention to do this. Let's focus on.
Or maybe she is so fucking crazy that she thought that this was gonna be the thing that changes it all. 2 years after the toxic gossip train, 6 years after my first video. No worries. No worries.
The action. Let's focus on the actions of what she did. I don't care about the intentionality here. She did what she did, and again, I'm sorry to keep on saying the gender things. It does
Intention
make me
is
feel like
so
I'm
irrelevant,
conservative,
by the way.
anti-woke YouTuber. I'm as woke as it gets, baby. But what I'm saying is, though, I feel like there is a genuine thing with young boys, young victims who are boys, not being taken seriously, and their stories are just dismissed so much. And I feel that's exactly what is happening here with Adam McIntyre and all of the other fans that were involved. It's genuinely disgraceful that it's still happening, and they've got onto a podcast 2 years after everything and believe that this was the right way to do it.
A stupid fashion. It was like I shouldn't. Like,
A stupid fashion. Oh, are we hearing this?
for the laugh. I thought it would make them laugh. I thought they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe
For the laugh, y'all. For the laugh.
you said that, ha ha ha, like how they did with me off. And they were very funny. That group chat of all these guys are very funny, very dedicated, wonderful.
They were kids. They were children.
So
we were very dedicated, wonderful, funny people. Oh, no worries.
one of the kids.
Yeah,
and you had
No,
forgotten.
she was again, what are these excuses for Miranda here? You were being one of the kids. She was a grown woman.
Yeah,
So
right.
Again, imagine if this argument was used in a courtroom, for example. Oh, sorry, I was just being one of the kids when I did these incredibly inappropriate things. That's insane.
acting more like one of your kid viewers versus
It really is crazy that Miranda's saying this. You know, it's okay. You were just acting like one of the kids.
is remembering that you were actually the adult in the
Right,
chat.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh my
And
god!
that-
Oh my god! We're not in Split here. She doesn't just become another human being. She's not doing that. She is still Colleen Ballinger. What am I listening to here?
lends itself to the power dynamic that you had referenced earlier. You kind of had lost the awareness of that relationship.
Lost the awareness. She was actively using it.
Stop. Do you hear yourself?
Dynamic.
There was no part of me that was wanting that information truly from them. I wasn't trying to get anything out of them. I was just trying to be like,
She was getting stuff out of us, by the way. That is, I completely rebuke that. She was completely getting stuff out of us.
one of them, which is embarrassing to admit because that was not my responsibility in that time. I was trying to be silly like them and be their friend, when in reality I was the one who's supposed to be the responsible one. I was the adult there that should have never participated in that conversation. And
So was she trying to be our friend, or was she just trying to engage with her fans? Which one is it? 6, 7.
joked with them about that kind of stuff. There's a power dynamic there, that parasocial relationship that I wasn't thinking about, which was irresponsible of me. Like I should have been thinking about that, and I should have removed myself from that chat immediately when they were joking about things that were inappropriate. I shouldn't
She
have
was still in the chat until 2023.
participated in those conversations.
By the way, she's recontextualizing things there too. She just said when they were joking about these things, you were the one that was joking about these things, and we've seen
Yes.
evidence that you initialized these conversations. I'm so tired. I'm tired of listening to this and the lies. This is so insane.
And it was rare that I was in there talking to them, but that is one of the moments where I did interact, and I wish
Not true. Not true. Girl, you were bored AF.
that I hadn't.
Let's talk about JoJo for a second. So we know JoJo. You know JoJo. You became friends with her when she was
People were saying that maybe the reason that they did this was because the connection with JoJo. I just don't think it's that big of a pull, but I mean, it seems to be the only connection they have thus far.
Let's just get to the juice and then call it a day, honestly.
Come over to our family gatherings and hang out with my family where we, yes.
And within an industry of entertainment, which is what YouTube is now, people are going to interact of all different backgrounds and all different ages.
Yes.
And
we're gonna
there
go
are
too
so
time
many
speed, honestly.
YouTube
This is
kids
just too much.
that are not on YouTube because they're doing it themselves. They have their parents there with them. And we know Jess as well. We know the family.
I'm sorry for getting annoyed at how I'm handling this, by the way, but it's just so jarring to listen to.
There will never, ever be a time where Jess is not aware of what Jess was doing. And I want to keep people aware that we really do have
Has Miranda or Raven addressed it yet? No, I think they uploaded another podcast because I do think for them that they did this knowing that they were going to get backlash, but ultimately it became their most successful episode and they make a lot of money and views doing it. Unfortunately, it has ruined my ability to want to enjoy That's So Raven, but
careful in how we throw stones at people.
Don't
who
think
know
she
the
gives a
backstory.
fuck about
When
that.
There is a culture within the entertainment
Stop.
Culture?
Oh my god, please.
industry that not a lot of people understand.
So much has happened, and
Is that really it? Is that really all we're saying here?
I can only imagine that having to absorb and internalize all this, a lot of it must have made you have to change. I want to know about some of these changes you've gone through since I
I don't care. I do not care. So the next 10 minutes is basically just going to be, oh, I've changed. I've done all of these things to make me feel better about myself. Okay, now the comments are basically just her pretty much just get these people are getting absolutely I don't know what I'm saying here. These people are getting angry. They're getting very angry, and I can understand too. What is wrong with y'all for platforming someone who is still to this day claiming that her victims are lying? Exactly. She literally was doing it in this podcast. The gaslighting during this entire episode is insane. I feel so bad for all of Colleen's victims. Again, I completely agree. She hasn't apologized to the children she affected. Again, completely agree. All she did was say, I'm sorry, and then there was a jump cut. That literally was it. There was nothing else. It was
The
just...
jump cut at the one apology. What was said there?
Jump cut. We're going to move on from there. She said she's sorry. And they have the gall to say the exclusive apology. No, it's not. No, it's not. She said, I'm sorry for 3 seconds and didn't really.
And the fact they had to change the title because they ultimately agree that it wasn't an apology is so embarrassing.
Go into any detail about why she's sorry. And then the rest of the podcast was just her making excuses for the entire thing. So no, I don't think that this is going to exactly go down well with Colleen Ballinger. And if anyone's going to be making an apology, I imagine it's tea time with Raven and Miranda. Because as much as I think Raven did do good here and there, I think towards the ending, the level of excuses were genuinely insane. The level of just allowing Colleen to get away with what she was saying and also to back her in some of the situations that she...
And why would they put themselves in that position? Why would they open themselves up to that? What do they get out of it?
was speaking about is genuinely wild. This is an hour and 4 minutes of Colleen dismissing her victims, saying that they were lies, and basically not apologizing to any of them directly. And that's how I'm going to kind of end this very messy video that isn't really like... it's not like a video that I usually do on this main channel. She should have apologized directly to her victims. But not just that, she should have said their names. She should have said, I am sorry, Adam McIntyre. But she never did that, because I genuinely believe that she still is resentful to all of these people. I don't think she's taken accountability. I believe that she probably still thinks that they're all liars and that they're all people that have just...
I also do believe that she believes that we are liars. Like, I really do, even after seeing everything. I really do.
Completely ruined her career out of, I don't know, being evil or something on those lines. Because if she had genuinely taken accountability, if she was genuinely sorry, she would get on camera, not in a podcast, but on camera for 5 minutes, said...
Also, it says something that she's so unwilling to save her career by even just biting her tongue and giving the biggest acting role of her life, better acting than her fucking Netflix show, and fake an apology to us. And she would start to rebuild her career again. It says something so much about her that she's even unwilling to do that. It's actually impressive how she's unwilling to do that.
The victims' names, apologized to them directly, and ended the video there. So no, I don't think this is going to help Colleen Ballinger. If anything, this is just going to light another fire about how terrible she truly is. But yeah, with that, I'm going to end the video there. I genuinely cannot believe what I just watched for an hour and a half straight. I'm sorry if it wasn't very edited or what you would really expect from me, but I feel like stuff like this, sometimes you just need to do unscripted. I knew it was going to be bad based on some of the clips that I've already seen, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. Genuinely, probably the worst podcast episode I've ever watched in my entire life. But yeah, thank you for watching.
Okay. Some thoughts. Also, I'm aware, I saw chat, that Fraser ended up doing a follow-up video where he watches the remainder of it. I will watch that. Don't worry. Fraser, it shows I have a lot of love for him. Again, that I was willing to listen to this damn fucking fuck-ass podcast for another hour just to hear his take. He brought up points that I completely missed. I feel like hearing it from like an outsider's point of view of someone who's also clever and like rational adult just really honed in points that I didn't focus on, because again, I think that the first time I watched it, I was very stressed and I was the first time I watched it was on camera. So, you know, but the jump cut, yeah, in the apology is crazy. I really like Fraser, and I really enjoyed his Colleen coverage, you know, back in the day. I thought he did a great job with it. And I will watch that at another stage. I'm just aware that we've been going for 2 hours, which is crazy. Thank you, Fraser. I appreciate it. The jump cut has me fucked up. So we will leave it there for now. And also just again, that you are nominated for the Adam McIntyre Subscribe Challenge. I nominate you and everyone you've ever met to subscribe. We're getting close to 500k. And I will leave it there. I hope you're all doing very well, and I will come back soon and do part 2, and goodbye.